hungry enough to eat anything. Even Ellie's cooking.
These is dandy popovers, Ellie.
Yeah, smell good, too.
Well, I'm proud of them myself. Well, y'all just eat up whilst I show you the dress I made.
Oh, you learned her how to sew, Granny?
Taught her everything I know, then turned her loose. She'll be a missus before you know it.
Well, if what she sewed looks as good as these popovers, then...
Don't touch it, Uncle Jed. I said I was hungry enough to eat almost anything, but this popover's alive.
I'm breathing, too.
I'll fix it. Get it, Jethro.
I can't, Uncle Jed. I'm afraid. Thanks, Uncle Jed. I think you saved my life.
Yeah, seems like after all these years of you attacking your food, it's finally getting back at you.
I can see the headline. Jethro's revenge. Jethro killed by popover.
Well, no use letting it all go to waste. Can't taste as bad as it looks. I was wrong. Tastes worse. Ellie ain't never going to get herself a fella using bait like this.
There's still a chance. Man don't live by bread alone.
If he eats some Ellie's, he don't live, period.
Well, if she ever does get herself a husband, I know what to give him for a wedding present. A stomach pump.
And you get yourself cleaned up and stop this spinster talk. Ellie'll get herself a husband.
Gee whiz, what's with you? You're the one that's always calling her an old maid.
Yeah, Granny. Every time Ellie has a birthday, you dress up in a black dress and go in the morning.
Well, I found someone who needs my help in the romance department worse than else.
Quit looking at me.
It ain't you, it's Miss Jane. You know that marriage.
Well, quit looking at me.
But, Jed, I don't want you to take her out or call on her or court her.
It's a good thing.
All you have to do is propose to her.
Oh, well, when you put it that way, it's hard to refuse.
Good.
But I'm gonna.
Jed, every woman has the right to say she's been proposed to once in a lifetime.
Well, Granny, I'm sure it's a worthy cause, but it ain't worthy enough to get married for.
Jed, she won't accept. But that doesn't matter. The important thing is that she will have been asked.
You do the asking.
But Jed, it has to be you. Somebody that she respects. And slick, handsome, smart, good-mannered.
Hey, are you calling me Granny?
You big... I always say if you can't find a horse, grab a mule.
Are you calling me a mule?
No, Jethro. A jewel. A jewel.
Oh, thanks, Granny. You're sweet, too. Well, I'm going in the kitchen. Even Ellie's popovers ain't as bad as not eating at all.
You don't want to put one of them vicious varmints into your delicate gizzard.
I don't?
No. Wouldn't you rather tickle your taster with bacon and buzzard eggs and eggplant aspic, squirrel and parsnip pie, some corned beaver and cabbage?
Granny, stop. You know them's all my favorite.
I'll fix them all for you if you just do me one little favor.
A little favor? Heck, for that, I'll prune every tree and bush on all 14 acres of this place. With my teeth.
You don't have to work that hard. You darling, sweet boy.
Oh, Granny. Shucks.
I don't know. Miss Jane may decide it was better never having been asked.
Miss Hathaway, I'd like you to meet Ilse, a new employee I just hired.
How do you do?
Oh, Ilse doesn't speak or understand English.
Then why did you hire her? Stupid question.
Well, Ilse is replacing Wimple, our bank guard.
There's the stupid answer.
Let's show her around, Miss Hathaway.
Chief? What kind of a bank guard will she make?
A great one. With her to look at, you think a crook's gonna care about robbing us?
Me?
Meet Jane.
Howdy, Miss Jane. This is for you.
Oh, Jethro, thank you.
I'm afraid I got a little hungry on the way down. I saved the maple and the licorice one for you. I don't like them.
Well, thank you. Are those for me, too?
Oh, yeah. Roses is red, violets is blue. Sugar is sweet. Doggone, I keep forgetting the last part.
And so are you.
So am I what?
I forgot about Elsa. Elsa meets Jethro.
Me esa.
Jethro?
Huh? Oh, howdy, Miss,
Me esa.
Yes. Hey, that's a beautiful name.
Jethro, what was it you wanted?
Oh, I come to invite you out for dinner. Oh, there's something I gotta ask you.
All right, what was it you wanted to ask me?
I forgot, but I'll remember by tonight. I'll pick you up at the... I forgot that, too. I'll call you. Bye. Bye, me, Elsa.
I suppose you're wondering why I accepted a dinner invitation with that simple, bucolic youth. It is not his uncle's $73 million, but rather his pitiable ineptitude with women. I could not bear to see him rejected once again. And, too, I haven't had a date myself for 6 months.
How'd you do, Jethro? Is Miss Jane going out with you?
Granny, I'm in love.
What'd you do? Give you something to eat?
She's the most wonderful, perfect, beautifulest girl in the whole world.
Miss Jane? She did give you something to eat.
Granny, I'm talking about me, Elsa. The girl I'm going to ask to be my wife.
Miss Jane gets to turn you down first.
Can't propose to Miss Jane. I am really in love.
How about our deal? All them victuals I'm cooking for you.
Granny, you just don't understand. This time it's the real thing. Why, me Elsa's my whole life. I adore her. I am crazy mad in love with her. Granny, I'd do anything for her.
Jethro, put your nose to the breeze.
I smell parsnip and squirrel pie.
Tell me all about that girl that you're crazy mad in love with.
What girl? Jethro? Gee, don't scare me like that, Uncle Jim. Certainly made me lop my hand off into this pan of gravy.
That'll be one way to make it finger licking good.
You're joking, ain't you?
It's groundhog gravy. We having a party?
Nope. All this is what Granny's given me for proposal.
Doing what, Jethro?
Can't tell you, Uncle Jed. Granny told me to keep it a secret, and my lips is sealed.
The only time your lips are sealed is when you got a mouthful of soup.
Go ahead, Uncle Jed. Insult me, bribe me, torture me. Ain't nothing gonna make me tell my secret.
I wouldn't even try.
And you can quit that pleading. When I got a secret, I keep it.
Do that, boy.
Tie me to the rack. Put burning bamboo right underneath my fingernails. Drag me behind wild horses. What'd you say?
I said you keep your secret. Somebody will tell me before long.
Oh, no, they won't. Ellie couldn't, Granny wouldn't, and Miss Jane don't even know that I'm going to propose to her yet. So that only leaves me. And I am just a little bit too smart. That is a dirty trick, Uncle Jed.
No dirtier than the trick you're playing on Miss Jane. She might say yes and get stuck with you.
No, she won't. And I'll tell you why. You see, Miss Jane is what you call intellectual, real educated, and full of fancy manners and high-toned ways.
Yeah.
Well, she ain't going to marry no chuckle-headed yokel with the manners of a billy goat that's got the roots sticking out of him like quills on a porcupine.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Sure. So all I got to do is pretend that I'm like that for a while. You know, fake it.
Fake it.
Yeah. Of course, I got to forget that I'm a sophisticated international playboy and find out how a country hick would propose to a gal.
That's true.
Would you give me some pointers?
What could I tell a fella's got your way with words?
You can help me be a hayseed. You see, this Beverly Hills sophistication has done rubbed off on me. But thank goodness you're still just as rough as a cob.
Thanks again, boy.
Hey, I got us a pretty good table here, Miss Jane. All the way in the back, right next to the kitchen.
Ordinarily, we do not admit people in costume, but as reservations were made...
Here, I'll get that.
Would Madame care for a cocktail?
If she decides on chicken, she gets the whole bird.
Your part.
We'll be ordering a la carte.
Very well.
Hold it. Bring her a double helping of alley carts if she wants. Me, I'm having baked hog livers.
We have no baked hog livers.
All right, then deep fry them in possum fat.
Jethro, they don't have any here.
What about beaver tail? Possum shanks? Toe gizzards? Buzzard eggs? And you ain't got no hog livers.
No hog livers.
Thought you said this was a high-class restaurant.
Oh, Jethro, it is. As a matter of fact, they have excellent pâté de foie gras. That's goose livers.
Goose livers? Yeah! How come people eat such things?
We'll be ordering later, and forget about the hog livers.
I wish I could. But you're the second party tonight. That's all of them.
Sure was lucky getting right next to him. They didn't even recognize. Why should they? We look like the average Beverly Hills couple.
Jethro proposed to Miss Chang yet?
Can't hear through the study.
Is something wrong?
Yeah. It seems I was supposed to ask you something tonight, but I've been so hungry I can't remember what it was.
Doggone, I should have never given this job to old Super Gullet. Propose to her, you big dope!
Miss Jane, has your conscience ever talked to you?
Of course, many times.
Well, what's it like?
Oh, a little voice in your head talking to you?
Well, does it by any chance sound like Granny?
Oh, no, dear boy.
Good. I thought I was hearing things. That's never happened to me before. Knock on wood.
Jethro!
Oh, there goes that voice again. Sure you didn't hear nothing, Miss Jane?
No, lean back and relax. You're probably imagining it.
Yeah, I got an awful strong imagination. I got an awful strong imagination, but it's the first time I ever had a kick to it.
Jethro, that came from the next booth.
Hey, excuse me, mister. But... Well, howdy there, beautiful.
Ellie?
Granny.
Jethro.
Oh, just somebody admiring my tie. But they reminded me what I wanted to ask you.
And what is that, dear boy?
Miss Jane, will you marry me?
Jethro. Sweet, innocent Jethro. How could I refuse that plaintive face? How could I say no?
Oh, there's any number of ways. No, nix, never, absolutely not. Or just shake your head no.
Jethro. So used to being rebuffed, turned away, scorned, but not from me. For once you shall hear what your heart has been longing to hear. Yes.
Yeah.
You have been rejected for the last time. I shall make the sacrifice. My answer is yes, yes, yes!
No, no, no! Really?
She said yes.
Wait till Paul finds out about this.
You can wait if you want to. By sunup, I'm going to be across the state line.
If you'd seen how pathetic he looked, you'd have said yes, too.
Oh, well, it's done now. Now, let's see. You'll want someplace that's really nice for your bridal shower. How about here at the bank in the vault? All right. We'll go out someplace. The parking lot. I want to do it. All I ask is that you give me any duplicate gift.
No, it was a mistake. I was caught up in a moment of compassion. I can't marry Jethro.
But he proposed and you accepted. If you back out now, you'll be damaging a sacred institution.
Marriage.
I mean the Commerce Bank. You know how the Clappets feel about honor and duty. Why, you might alienate my biggest depositor.
To you, this marriage is only a matter of dollars and cents.
No, it's more than that. It's millions of dollars, millions of cents.
For Mr. Clappett's money, you would sacrifice two people to lives of certain unhappiness.
Now, try me on a hard one.
Well, Jethro means too much to me. We're totally unsuited to one another. In the first place, I'm several months older than he is.
Well, at least you could give matrimony a try. Look what it's done for me. Well, let's forget that. Think of the romance of marriage. A joint checking account. Savings in income tax.
I won't let Jethro pay a lifetime for his one moment of mad infatuation. I'll think of a way out of this. Please Just watch the phone.
Me either.
Watch them. Don't answer them.
Oh, here you are. What you doing?
Just trying to figure out the best way to commit suicide.
Glad you ain't rushing into it.
I've about decided I'm going to take an overdose of food and eat myself to death.
That's a fitting way to go. With your stomach, I ain't sure it's possible.
Quit trying to cheer me up, Uncle Jed. I'm just desperate about having to marry Miss Jane.
I know, boy, but you're honor brown. It's a code of the hills.
Hey, maybe we could find a loophole, huh?
One thing could save you is if Miss Jane changes her mind. Women has been known to do that.
Back chains. You think she's going to give up the prize catch of the century now that she's bagged?
I suppose not. Being one of them Vassar girls, she's probably mighty impressed with his sixth-grade education.
Forget my brain. What about the way I look?
Well, I wouldn't count on that stopping her. It ain't up to now. Well, what I meant was...
I know what you meant. Boy, the way I get insulted around here, marriage is looking better and better. But it still looks off.
Yeah, I don't give up, boy. Granny's been in the kitchen ever since I brung her home. She's making up a anti-love potion for you.
She better do something. It was her that got me into this.
Now, your stomach had something to do with it, too. I could have stopped you myself, for that matter, but...
All right, Jethro, you're saved. Ellie will be right along with my anti-love potion X4.
What's that?
It's a charm I never dared try before. Marked emergency use only.
Granny, you look plumb tuckered out.
Making X4 really took a lot out of me, Jed. But if you wear it around your neck, it's guaranteed to break up anything from puppy love to passionate romance.
What's that horrible smell?
That's plumb off.
What is it?
Anti-love potion X4. Wear that around your neck, Jethro, and it'll not only rid you of all unwanted sweethearts and fiancés, but it will kill any flying insect within 100 yards.
Any human being within 10.
There, Cousin Bessie, before I'd wear that thing.
You'd have to. She wouldn't go near you after.
You and Jethro take anti-love potion X4 out and bury it
No,
in
Jed.
a deep hole.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And stop on the ground hard before you put it in so the gophers can get away.
A lot of work went into that potion, Jed.
Yeah, I hate to think of what else.
Well, it was the strongest charm in my book. There's nothing left for me to make.
Well, yeah, there is. A wedding cake.
Yes, you're right. He proposed and she accepted. It's the code of the hills.
Only thing I could say is stronger would be a shotgun.
He can use my old engagement ring. It wasn't expensive, but it's got a lot of sentimental value.
Yeah, that's the one your husband carved out of a marrow-bone. Must be a lot of memories attached to it.
Uh-huh. A little bristle, too.
Well, there won't be by the time Jethro gets it to the bank. I'll go call Miss Jane and tell her he's coming.
I'm back. Any messages?
Hello.
Wonderful.
Miss Hathaway, Mr. Clampett called. Your fiancé is coming by with your engagement ring.
Jethro will have to keep his diamond. I have decided to come right out and tell him I cannot marry him.
No, you can't hurt a person like that.
It's better that Jethro suffer the agony now than to live with this dream even a day longer.
I'm talking about hurting me. What if we lose the Clampett account?
But I feel that honesty is the best policy.
What kind of crazy nonsense is that? I'm going to stop Jethro.
Howdy, Miss Jane. I got an engagement ring for you, but hope you won't mind my tooth marks on it.
Jethro, my lovesick Lothario, I have bad news for you. I cannot marry you.
What?
Your heart must hurt, but the pain, yes, you must try to forget me. Try.
Hot dog, I'm a free man!
Hello.
Mielsa!
Nein, me Ilsa. You 73 million.
Mr. Clammett said Jethro's already left.
He's out there. Oh, I just told him. I hope he's able to forget. He must try. Look at him suffering, trying to forget. That's right, my brave boy. Try to forget. Try.
Show yourself, boy. Come on. Come on out, wherever you are. Wherever you're hiding.
Hey, Granny, what's she doing?
I'm looking for Jethro. I ain't seen him since he left Miss Jane last night for that concert.
Me neither. What's in the pan?
That's my hog jowls Melba. The smell of this has been known to bring that boy running from 100 yards. It don't seem to be working this morning.
Well, maybe Pa knows where Jethro is. He's upstairs trying on a shirt I might burn.
It's on, Ellie.
Can you believe that I made that all by myself?
Yeah. No.
Well, I did, except Cousin Bessie helped me with the detail work.
I really like my shirt, honey. Thank you.
Well, it looks a little snug, Pa. How does it feel?
Oh, I think it'll be okay. I won't be able to tell until the blood starts flowing again.
You better loosen the seams, Ellie. Your pa's eyeball on one side is bugging out a little.
What? I don't want to redo it. Bessie and me'll just run him up a whole new shirt.
Well, that ain't necessary.
Oh, it's no trouble. You won't believe it, but it only takes us 5 or 10 minutes.
Granny, are you wearing perfume this morning?
That's my hog jowls Melba. I put a little of the gravy behind my ears.
Ain't that kind of risky? Jethro smells it. He's liable to chomp first and ask questions later.
Maybe, but so far I ain't been able to draw him out with that whole pan full.
Well, don't get impatient. Be a few minutes before he smells it all the way downtown.
Downtown? He went downtown without doing his chores?
Yeah, it's something about being at the music store when it opened.
He'll get music. I'll treat his rear to a hot little rhythm with my hickory switch.
Mighty excited. Left without eating his regular breakfast. Just gulped down about 20 boxes of cornflakes.
20 boxes of cornflakes is his regular breakfast.
Yeah, but he usually eats them in a bowl with milk.
May I come in?
Howdy, Miss Jane.
I'll be right back. I want to change.
Whatever happened to that shirt?
Ellie. Oh, come on, we'll have some coffee.
Oh, I can't, Granny. I'm on my way to work. But I had to stop by and tell you about the concert I took Jethro to last night.
Nice, was it?
Granny, that Sebastian Stromboli is an absolute virtuoso.
I thought he was a fiddle player.
He's a concert violinist. And you should have seen Jethro's reaction to the music. I think I have finally discovered his true interest.
Where you been? You've seen him around food before.
I mean music. On the way home, all he could talk about was playing the violin like Sebastian Stromboli.
I'm for putting anything in his hands that takes the place of a knife and fork. Dad, put a robe over that nightgown.
This is the new shirt Ellie made me. Tried tucking it in, but there wasn't room in my britches.
He sure didn't inherit my talent. It's a good thing she got my looks.
So speaking of talent, I just stopped by to recommend that Jethro take violin lessons.
Say, that must have been what he was asking me when he was crunching his cornflakes this morning.
Well, I hope so. A familiarity with classical music can be most rewarding.
Yeah, them fellas that fiddled for the barn dance was always looked up to.
But, Granny, I was referring to the music of Brahms, Bach, Beethoven.
I never danced to that one, but it sounded like a real toe tapper.
Yes. But now, getting back to Jethro's violin lessons.
Sound like a dandy idea.
Well, wonderful. I'll try to find the very best violin teacher for him.
What about that goomer that you went to hear last night?
Granny, Sebastian Stromboli is one of the world's great violin players. He gets $10,000 just to appear for an hour.
That sounds a mite steep for a violin teacher, but we want the best, so you go get him.
Mr. Clement, you'd understand. He wouldn't teach Jethro.
Something wrong with Jethro?
Other than what we already know about?
No, it's just that...
Well, then, why don't you just ask this Stromboli fella?
Yeah, it can't do any harm.
Worst he can say is, folks, I'd rather not.
I can't quite imagine Sebastian Stromboli saying that.
Can I? He'd probably be tickled to teach Jethro.
Mr. Clampett, you don't...
I'll tell you what, if he won't do it for $10,000 an hour, you keep upping the price till you break him down.
All right, but I'm afraid the only person who will break down will be Mr. Drysdale. Here we are, Chief. And please stop snarling.
That's not a snarl. It's a cry of pain. Do you know what it's going to cost to hire this bull pusher, Spumoni?
Stromboli, and don't worry, he's so far above giving violin lessons, he'll be insulted no matter what we offer.
You must be kidding.
There are some things money cannot buy.
If that's your idea of a joke, you picked a very bad time for it.
Oh, Maestro, thank you. That was beautiful. You made the violin come alive in your hand.
I've just heard Stromboli play. The man's an absolute genius, unbelievable, fantastic, magnificent, and I'm overcome, without doubt. The greatest violinist of all time is Sebastian Stromboli.
I'd like to meet him. I'm Melvin Drysdale.
Oh, you are meeting him. I'm Sebastian Stromboli. No handshaking, please. One over-exuberant admirer, and the music of the gods would be stilled forever.
Maestro, it's such a thrill to meet you.
Yes, I know how you must feel.
Well, I'll come right to the point, Mrs. Stromboli. I want you to give beginning violin lessons to a young man I know.
My ears are still intoxicated with my music. They're playing tricks. You couldn't have said beginning violin lessons.
That's right. I'm offering $10,000.
My ears have been slapped in the face.
All right. 15,000.
You insult Stromboli.
Oh, no, Maestro.
20,000. That's my final offer.
So, you think for a paltry $20,000 you can hire the greatest violinist in all the world to teach some oaf beginning violin lessons?
Of course not, Maestro.
Well, you can.
What?
Yes, I may be a genius, funny looking, play the violin, but that doesn't make me a nut.
Jethro, that is a cello. You rested on the floor to play it.
On the floor?
That's what the point is for.
Oh, I was wondering about that thing. Every time I put it up underneath my chin to play, I speared my atoms out.
You realize it was too large to play that way?
Heck, this ain't bad. What's real work is holding up that overgrown fiddle yonder.
Jethro, that is a bass viol. You don't play that under your chin either.
I say you don't.
Why are you trying out all these other instruments? I thought you wanted to become another Sebastian Stromboli.
I do. But I figured if he can be such a hit playing that itty-bitty violin, I'll be twice as popular with the girls playing one that's bigger.
Whew. I thought you enjoyed the music at the concert.
Oh, it was wonderful. Put me to sleep just like that. The best part was when I woke up.
At what part of the performance?
The end. When everybody was clapping. That's when these pretty girls come up and give old Stromboli a bouquet of roses and a big kiss.
You mean that's all you got out of the concert?
I didn't even get that. Stromboli did.
And I thought you had a serious interest in music.
I do. What a way to meet girls.
Oh, dear. And we are paying all that money so the great Sebastian Stromboli can teach you the violin.
Well, I sure hope he gets here soon. I want to learn how by supper, so as I can have a concert in time to get me a date for the weekend.
You made a terrible mistake.
Don't worry, Miss Jane. If he ain't that good a teacher, there's one violin here that I'm already pretty good at playing.
There is?
Yeah. Puny little thing. It's got a real nice tone.
Howdy, I'm Jed Clamp.
Oh, I'm Stromboli.
Pleased to meet you.
No one has shaken Stromboli's hand in 20 years.
Oh, you poor man.
What have you done?
Well, just set your heart at rest. You found friend. Let me carry it.
No, I'll carry that. It contains my Stradivarius.
Where would you fiddle?
The Stradivarius is a very old, handmade violin.
Oh, well, don't you worry. With what I'm paying you, you'll be able to buy a good one.
Where is Miss Hathaway? She was supposed to meet me here.
She's inside, but before you go, Granny wanted me to make sure that the first song you taught Jethro was Redneck Romance.
I play the music of only the immortal composers.
Well, then you ought to know this one. It was wrote by Stumpy Peckin.
Of the song, Stumpy Peckinpaw or the Git Box.
Oh, well, I'm sure Granny would settle for you teaching Jethro, you got a hog jaw where your heart ought to be.
To my great good fortune, I've never heard that one either.
Oh, sure you have. Why don't I hum it for you?
Please.
All right.
Oh, excuse me, Mr. Clay, but I should like to speak to the maestro alone.
All right, but first I want you to meet Mr. Stromboli.
I am the maestro and we have man.
All right, I'll leave you. Take it easy with him. For some reason, he seems a mite frachy.
Maestro, I think we must forget about your teaching Jethro the violin.
No, why?
Well, I have been talking to him, and his attitude towards music is all wrong.
Oh, that's bad. With me, attitude is very important.
I knew that once you heard, you would no longer want to honor your contract.
Oh, yes, attitude is very important. However, it's not so important as the money I get.
But you have never met anyone like Jethro.
I've met Mr. Clamp.
Oh, but Jethro is nothing like him.
Good.
I don't understand it. You are one of the world's greatest violinists.
The greatest.
You're willing to corrupt your art, squander your talent for mere money.
Oh, it's more than mere money. It is alimony payments. I have 6 ex-wives.
About the principle involved.
The only one I know is you miss a payment, you go to jail.
Ed, is the fiddle teacher here yet?
Yeah, he's out front, but we may have wasted our money.
What you mean?
Well, I asked him to teach Jethro redneck romance. He said he didn't know it.
You're greening me. Why, it's #1 back home.
And I told him you'd be just as happy if he'd learned the boy there's a hog jaw where your heart ought to be.
That was sweet of you, Jed. When my husband and me was courting, that was our song.
I know. Then this Sebastian Stromboli told me he'd never heard of that neither.
Huh?
I can understand a fella not keeping up with all the new hits.
But we're talking about there's a hog jowl where your heart ought to be.
I know. It's a standard.
That song's responsible for more weddings than the shotgun.
If he don't know redneck or there's a hog jaw, I wonder what he plays at his concerts.
Can't be an all-request program.
He's out front there now teaching Jethro. I wonder if he'd mind if we listened in.
Not if he don't know we're doing it.
Hey, I've heard that song before, but I can't figure out where. I know! That's the one you was playing at the beginning of the concert last night, right before I dozed off.
It's called tuning up, you oaf.
Hey, that is a catchy little title. Hey, what are the words?
Jethro, there are no words.
And it'll never be a hit. You can't even whistle a melody.
And I thought crickets were bad.
Maestro, if you would rather...
No. Jethro, if you study very hard and practice a great deal, perhaps one day you will know enough violin to realize that you will never play as well as I.
Nobody could dance to it, Jed.
I hope that ain't the best you can do. Here's he's making it up as he goes along.
Sounds like it, too.
Sure, he's got Miss Jane bamboozled. Look at her.
Well, at least Jethro's found a way to enjoy it. Playing Cousin Clarence pickle stiff with one broke arm and holding a jug under the other and still make better dancing music than that Stromboli goomer just did.
Beautiful. The only thing that kind of rhythm is good for is stomping the mud off your boots.
And wouldn't you know, the city folks is just dippy over him.
I'd sure like to get him next to someone who could learn him how to play the violin proper.
If he could just hear old Sidearm Jackson or Catgut Calloway or Fiddlin' Sam Dingle.
I'd settle for your Cousin Clarence.
I bet you would. But he's back home just like the rest of them big-name entertainers.
There's somebody out here who can play barn dance fiddle. Mr. Flatt and Earl Scruggs ought to know.
Now, wait a minute. That Stromboli fella is supposed to be giving lessons, not taking them.
Granny, I can't turn my back on a man who needs help. Playing the violin is his livelihood. He can't go on fooling the public forever.
You mean when folks might rise up and demand something more than that made-up seesawing?
One of these days, he's going to have to play some real music.
I have to get back to the office now. Are you sure you'll be all right with Jethro?
What harm can he do while he's asleep? But don't tell me. I'll risk it anyway.
I hate to walk out on you.
Oh, I don't mind. You're the first woman to have done it who hasn't asked for alimony.
Hey, Mr. Stromboli.
Well, I see your eyes are open. Of course, with you, that's no guarantee that you're awake.
Well, sure I am. During that last part, I was playing possum.
Well, you stick with it, because I'm sure you're never going to learn to play the violin.
Oh, yes, I will. Got one right back here.
Be strong, Sebastian.
Don't worry. I won't tell nobody I seen you crying during that last number.
The music I was playing made me cry.
No need to. It was dreary, but it weren't that bad.
The first thing we must do is learn the parts of the violin.
Okay. Say, how much you pay for that one, huh?
$50,000.
Wow! That's got to be the slicker in all time. You only paid $16 for mine. Yours ain't no bigger than it.
Stradivarius, ignoramus.
Stradivarius ignoramus, huh? I wonder who made mine. Hey, I see a label in here. It says, made in Texas by Texans. Is this a Stradivarius ignoramus?
No, simpleton.
Oh. Well, let's see which one's got the best tone. You play your ignoramus, and I'll play my simpleton.
Anything would sound better than this conversation.
Hey, Mr. Stromboli, first you was crying, and now you shaking. Is something upsetting you?
Now, what would there be to upset?
Well, I don't know, but your hand's shivering like a cold dog.
Well, that's my vibrato.
Well, you ought to let Granny take a look at it. She can get rid of anything.
Did you get rid of you?
We'd like to talk to Mr. Stromboli alone.
I don't know if now's a good time. He seems a mighty peckish.
Are you Mr. Stromboli?
Whatever that is, I'm it.
How come?
Because I'm an artist.
I didn't know that. You'll have to show me your painting sometime.
Jethro, why don't you wait for us in the parlor?
Okay. Don't you worry, Mr. Stromboli. I'll be right back.
Just like radishes. But I can't teach him for any amount of money.
We was kind of expecting this. If you don't know the song...
He doesn't need a teacher, he needs a trainer.
Stop kicking yourself. Help is on the way.
And so am I. You could bring me Paganini, Heifetz, Chrysler, and Yehudi Menuhin, and I still couldn't teach that Jethro the world's great music.
No. If you're going to play turkey in the straw, play it right.
What's the matter, Jethro? You got itch?
I'm practicing the violin, you dumb old lowbrow.
You better quit now. You'll never get to sound any better.
Oh, yeah? Mr. Stromboli thinks that I'm a genius.
I don't believe it.
He says that my talent is infinitesimal.
Wait, what's that I hear?
Either Jethro playing the violin or one of Ellie's cats with his tail caught in the screen door.
The piano. Never have I heard such exquisite playing. The hands on that keyboard are the hands of a god.
Come on, Bessie, you're going too fast for me.
I know she could outplay you.
Of course she can. Half the time she's using her feet, too.
Don't stop the music. Where is this genius of the keyboard? Where is he?
But I'm a he. This is all girl.
Oh, no. This big ape trying to play the violin was bad enough, but now a monkey playing the piano.
It ain't that special. She can't read music.
But where is my cape? I must fly from this place.
It'd be a lot safer if you took a taxi.
Don't go. There'll be somebody here any minute to give you violin lessons. That's probably him now.
Yeah, Granny.
We got your fiddler and Sam Dingle. There ain't no better.
He's played in the birthplace of the world's greatest music.
La Scala?
Nashville.
Now, that's the kind of music you're going to learn to play.
Ridiculous. You call that music? It's trash, rubbish.
Why, you ignorant, you idiots!
Let me give you a little tip from one fiddle player to another. You might think my music is trash and rubbish, but on it, I make $2 million a year playing it.
$2 million?
Well, you're going to have a lot better fiddle than the one you got. Something like this.
That's 10 times what I make.
Before you know it, you'll be able to afford some decent clothes, like mine.
$2 million a year?
You bet your bones. How's that go again?
Granny, I do believe he's got promise.
Okay, Dr. Granny. The ambulance is all ready to go.
That's a dandy siren. Sure beats the one I had on my buckboard back in the hills.
You had a siren back there, Granny?
Oh, sure. Our old hound dog Duke used to sit on the seat beside me and
Boy, sure strange to think how crude things was then when you see what we got now.
Good thing I got something this snazzy. After all, I'm competing with them Beverly Hills Society sawbones.
This is going to be a good thing for them city folks.
With me on that truck, there'll be a doctor within a few minutes of any automobile accident.
That's for sure. Heck, we caused most of them.
What in tarnation?
Well, I gotta find some patients, Jed. If they won't come to me, I gotta go to them. In 6 years out here, I only found one broken limb to treat.
Yeah. Yonder it is.
We can't have you running all over town, Doctor, and we need you here.
No, you don't. And it breaks my heart to think how my own family is so healthy. You don't even think enough of me to get the measles or break a finger now and then.
Well, you should have said something. Between the three of us, we might have been able to at least catch a cold for you.
That wouldn't have been enough to keep a doctor like me busy. I was ready to volunteer for the Army Medical Corps.
Yeah, but she figured she could find more people to treat just driving around on the California freeways.
What's Duke taking all that rheumatism medicine for?
Oh, he's gonna take care of finding folks that get lost in snow slides or avalanche.
Oh, good. There's a whole lot of them in Beverly Hills.
Well, you never know when a cold snap might come up. Besides, most of the corn squeezings in there is for the truck. Might run out of gas.
Which leaves about a jug's worth for you.
Well, you heard the old saying, a thimbleful a day keeps the doctor okay.
No, but I've seen your drinking thimble. Come on. We're going to take that cake back to the kitchen.
Wait a minute, Jed. I gotta bring at least a couple of swallows with me to sterilize my instruments in.
Uh-huh, I see. Well, thanks for the advice on meeting fellas, Miss Jane.
Oh, I know all the tricks, Ellie. Unfortunately, a trap is only as good as it's bait.
So paper time.
Why, excuse me, Ellie, I have to hang up now. Today's the day we find out if Rex Goodbody's going to need an operation.
Is he a friend of yours?
Rex Goodbody's a character on A Journey to Misery.
Dear.
I really must go now. Everyone's in my office waiting to hear the diagnosis. Goodbye, dear.
And now, we are happy to present A Journey to Misery.
Granny, you got a four-leaf clover.
Of course I got a four-leaf clover. I'm a physician, ain't I?
I want it so's I can wish Rex Goodbody luck.
Who's Rex Goodbody?
A friend of Miss Jane's. She says he finds out today whether he needs operation or not.
Friend? Why didn't Miss Jane send him to me?
Well, it might be on account he's a little strange. She says he's a character.
City folks are partial to city sawbones. Damn scalpel-happy goomers rather cut than cure. They get paid by the stitch.
Right. she says she's on a journey to misery.
Of course. Silly quacks living in the dark ages. I ain't found one yet that even heard of a bat-wings poultice.
Gee, maybe there's still time. Well, she said they was all at her office waiting for the diagnosis.
Then maybe there's still a chance. Ellie, go boil some water. Jethro! We got our first call! Start the siren and go ahead!
Yes, ma'am. As soon as I remember where I left my ham hock.
Start the siren!
Yes, ma'am. Remember where I left my ham hock.
Now, a journey to misery continues.
Tell me, Doctor. I can take it. Do I need an operation?
Gee, I hope the diagnosis is something serious.
Me too. He's been getting the examination for 3 months.
All right, what's going on here?
Today's the day we see if they're going to perform an operation on Rex Goodbody.
Well, I'm going to perform an operation on a few secretaries, like cutting off their salaries.
We're on our lunch hour.
I told you all spare lunch hour time is to be donated to a worthy cause.
Yes, and your idea of one is soliciting new depositors door to door.
That's more constructive than watching this moronic soap opera drivel. It's nothing but ridiculous, mind-paralyzing bunk. Now go and tell all the employees less shirk and more work. Great Scott, the distractions one has to put up with as a bank president. I completely forgot today is the day Rex Goodbody finds out if he needs an operation.
Say it, Doctor. What did the x-rays show?
At least I'm not too late.
Well, here I am. Where's the patient?
Help me, Doctor. This is your friend Rex.
Keep talking, Rex. I'll find you.
Here he is, Granny. On his little TV.
Very well, Rex. As you know, I've given you a complete examination.
I'll bet this is one of them scientific programs where they show a real live operation on a fella from start to finish.
Have him?
Just listen.
I'm afraid you're a very sick man.
No, he ain't sick, you silly quack.
The x-ray pictures show it very clearly. Here's one I took last week.
What kind of a doctor can he be? Can't even take a decent snapshot. Anybody can see all he needs is a little tonic.
I'm afraid I can only offer you one slim chance, Rex. An immediate operation.
Never fails. There he goes with the operation. They don't know how to cure nothing, so right away they want to cut something out.
Tomorrow, Rex Goodbody undergoes emergency surgery. How will this affect his already half-crazed wife and 3 children, still reeling from his bankruptcy, the fire that destroyed their home, and the imprisonment of Rex's favorite brother for setting it?
After all, they're having to go through an unnecessary operation.
Granny, maybe that wasn't one of them scientific programs. It might have been just a regular show.
Don't be ridiculous. You suppose folks want to watch that heartbreak and suffering for entertainment?
Guess you're right.
Here, take this down to the truck and don't let nobody know what we're doing.
That'll be easy. I don't know myself.
We're gonna find that Goodbody goober before he gets on the operating table tomorrow.
Well, how come we have to keep it a secret?
'Cause even after seeing what the new miracle drugs like newt eggs and wahoo bark can do, there's still folks that won't accept modern medicine.
Come in.
Mr. Drysdale, you ever heard of Rex Goodbody?
Why, yes. He's on a journey to misery.
That's for sure. I can talk to him right away.
Oh, I think he's terrific, too. In fact, he's a neighbor of yours. Lives on the end of Crestview Drive. His real name is Gene Lothery.
Thanks, I'm on my way.
I heard the siren. Did you find that Goodbody fellow you was after?
We went up to his house, but nobody answered Granny's knock.
I figure he's too weak to move, Jed. I'm gonna pack up a few things and go back up there and get in one way or t'other.
Now, Granny, I hope you ain't planning to sneak it.
Of course not. What kind of a person do you think I am? I'm going to have Jethro break down the door.
Really, I think it's fine you're willing to make house calls, but that ain't the way to go about it.
Well, I ain't got time for my usual tact and manners. The poor soul has fallen into the hands of a cut-and-try body whittler.
What?
You know, city doctor. Operate first, examine later.
Hey, maybe the man needs operation.
No, he don't. Anyone can see all he's got is an upset stomach. Every once in a while, it would turn into a bunch of wiggly lines.
Ready? Them wiggly lines was in the TV set.
There you are. And maybe he don't even need tonicking.
So it's on the TV?
You should have heard that doctor blabbing about poor old Rex's no-good brother and his half-crazed wife-in-law.
Well, that don't hardly seem necessary.
It's betraying a patient's trust. And there's no telling what else they would have spilled if that fella hadn't interrupted them.
What fella?
The one with the tension headache, looking for the extra-strength pain reliever.
It's a commercial.
That's city doctors for you. It's not bad enough to be telling their patients' secrets on TV. They've got themselves a sponsor.
Gee, you will never guess who's in my office.
Rex Goodbody.
Rex Goodbody. How did you know?
He told me he was coming by.
But why should he come here?
Well, he might want to meet the most important and knowledgeable banker in Beverly Hills. Or, on the other hand, it could be the $50 I offered him.
Offered him $50 just to stop by? What's he bringing, the keys to Fort Knox?
I did it so a fan of his could get a chance to meet him.
Oh, gee, how sweet of you. But you didn't have to do that for me.
I know, but I did have to do it for Granny.
Lost my head for a moment. Why?
You don't know what a Rex Goodbody fan is until you've seen Granny. She's wild about him. Why, she even went up to his house to try to meet him.
Well, of course, he is a bachelor and very appealing.
Anybody that can keep Granny interested in staying in Beverly Hills is more than appealing. He's money in the bank. Mr. Clampett's money in my bank. Mr. Goodbody, come in, come in. Well, perhaps I should say, Mr. Lothray. You know, you portray your role of Rex Goodbody so magnificently, it's hard to think of you as someone else.
Compliments I can get from my agent. Where's the $50?
All right. But I'm not going to mince words either. You don't have much longer to live.
What?
You are not going to pull through your operation on that soap opera tomorrow.
What? Who told you?
The producer. They said they wanted something new for the show, something upbeat. So they're killing you off.
But I can't die now. I just bought a new house.
I know. I managed to acquire the mortgage.
I didn't expect to get killed off. I was looking forward to playing a hopeless cripple for a while.
Well, that's too bad. But perhaps I could help you with the mortgage if you would do me a little favor in return.
You know you've got me. What do you want?
First, my $50 back. Next, there's a sweet little old lady who's a big fan of yours. She's dying to meet you. Now, if you can just go up there and put on a little friendship act.
All right. An act's an act. At least I'll still be in show business.
We got company, so be polite. Critters is supposed to be seen and not heard.
Hello, my little chicken.
Saying hello to you, Esmeralda. Stick out your claw. She's probably...
To expect anything. Say, my dear, I don't suppose there's a chance that you could be Granny?
Well, heck no, I'm Ellie.
Figures the way my luck's been running. I'm Gene Lothray.
Oh, howdy.
You may know me better as Rex Goodbody. I'm on a journey to misery.
Oh, yeah, Granny's been looking for you.
Yes, I'm looking for her, too.
Thank goodness you made it. I'll take you to her.
Fine.
But you shouldn't be walking. Just lie down in the wheelbarrow.
You're kidding. No, you're not kidding. Look, I am a good sport, but I don't know about this being moved around in a wheelbarrow.
Well, take heart, Mr. Goodbody. Things could be a lot worse.
I guess so. I could be pushing.
All right, Ellie. I got everything everything I need to examine Mr. Goodbody, except my muscle tone tester and my blood pressure checker. Well, I don't know where that is. You're holding my muscle tone tester, and my blood pressure checker is behind you on the counter.
There's nothing here but your jug.
That's my blood pressure checker. I give the patient a shot and see how long it takes his nose to turn red.
I'm Mr. Goodbody. I heard you was here. My name's Jethro.
Hello, Jethro.
Boy, is Granny happy you come. She's been wanting to get her hands on you ever since she seen you on the TV.
Oh, you mean my journey to misery.
I'll bet you're worried about the operation you're having tomorrow.
Yes, you see, I already know I'm not going to pull through.
You wouldn't have to worry if you let Granny take care of you.
No mortgages or anything? Tell me, she must be pretty well off.
No, once in a while she acts a little strange, but most of the time she's just as sharp as me.
Well, we can't have everything.
I'll see what's keeping her. Granny!
I wonder, should I marry the old girl?
Granny!
That big idiot would go along with the deal. I'm selling my freedom for money. A little security. Is it worth it? Of course it is.
All right. Come on in here and let me look you over.
I'm yours to command. You know, you shouldn't hide such a fabulous figure underneath that butcher's smock.
Beg your pardon?
You look a little like a meat cutter.
Only if all else fails. How is your wife taking all this?
My wife? Oh, you mean the one they talk about on television?
You got more than her?
No. And I'm only married to that one for 30 minutes each day. The rest of the time, I'm footloose and fancy-free.
I wonder if the poor woman is half crazed.
Pardon me?
Nothing. Now, let me look you over.
All right. I hope seeing me in person isn't a disappointment.
Oh, you still look fine to me.
You look like $1 million to me. Several million, in fact.
Reflexes okay.
Granny, you're gorgeous.
Eyesight perfect.
Oh, is this really necessary?
Of course. I gotta make sure that you're in good health. I only seen you on TV 2 or 3 times.
All right, dear. You're the doctor.
That's right. And be sure you remember it. Oh, the curse of being a beautiful woman. I suppose you have the pucker, dapple, phoebus, and skunk fever.
No.
Oh? None of the usual childhood diseases, huh? There, I'll test your hearing. Hello! Hearing normal. Got any muscle pains here?
Not until you did that. I think I feel a drag.
Don't doubt it. You ever been through an engine raid?
It's late. I must be getting back to my network.
Network? Are you a fisherman?
You can tell by now if I'm right for you. Haven't I passed your test?
Not all of them. But you're going to be okay. I wouldn't even show up for that operation tomorrow.
I won't. Who needs it? Ah, Granny, you and I will have a beautiful life together.
But take that, you Hollywood wolf. Maybe you can forget your poor half-crazed wife and 3 young'uns, but I can't. You ought to be ashamed ignoring them and carousing around making passes at beautiful women. I know I'm a temptation, but you gotta be strong.
But Granny, sweetheart.
Don't call me that. Now you get out of here before I forget I'm a lady. Daisy, you still got it.
Where are you going today, Granny?
Out cruising the freeways looking for broken bodies. Jethro, turn off that TV. Let's keep going.
You never told me what happened when you saw Mr. Goodbody yesterday.
I'd rather not talk about it, Jed. His health is all right, But, oh, his character was in miserable shape.
Hey, Granny, come quick. That Goodbody's fella's having his operation anyway, right on the TV.
And blamed fool, I told him he didn't need one.
Maybe he's just awful anxious to get into show business.
All right, Rex. We're almost ready to operate.
Look after my wife and kids, Doc.
You're two-faced. I know how you really feel about him. But heel that he is, even he don't deserve a needless operation.
We better rescue him.
But where is he?
But they'll know at the TV station.
Come on, let's go. There's no time to lose. No time to start. This is a medical emergency.
Now, we rejoin a journey to misery.
All right. Anesthesia.
Gee, Mr. Drysdale, it's sure nice of you to let us watch Journey to Misery in your office.
My pleasure, girls.
Hey, wait a minute. Somebody didn't pay that 10 cents admission.
Telephone nurse.
Hold it! Drop that scalpel. This man don't need an operation. You're all a bunch of quacks.
It's the Hillbillies. I'll be ruined.
Can't do this. We're on the air.
You ain't only bad doctors, you're sissies besides. Kid, they's wearing makeup.
Of course we are. This is a journey to misery.
Well, if you don't mind, Rex Goodbody's going to our house instead. Move him out, Jethro.
Hi, Ma!
Come on, Jethro, get him out of here.
Help! Help! Come back here. Stop what you're doing. Help! Help!
I'll go right up and straighten this out, Chiefy. You don't have a thing to worry about.
That's what you think. I just swallowed 50 cents in change.
You're next, Dorney. That's not rinsing, Archibald. I'll get you right and comb your hair. Oh, I'm Paul.
Ellie, are you washing your critters in the cement pond?
Well, I have to, Paul. Granny blew a stack the last time I used her bathtub.
But I don't blame her. You should have waited till she climbed out.
No.
Besides, you hadn't ought to use the pond anyway. You know how Granny's lye soap eats the cement?
But it's the only place where I can wash all my critters and not have to keep changing the wash water.
Well, you could use a wash tub for your critter cleaning.
Well, but that takes too long. Well, I've been at this for hours already. And you can see Archibald there. Well, I'm still on the eighth.
Honey, it just might be you got too many critters. You got over 40 dogs, a scad and a half of cats, rabbits, goats, assorted critters wandering around the place. Beginning to look like the waiting room for the Ark.
Well, don't make me give none away, Paul. Come on, Archibald. Don't shake, Archibald. Archibald holds an awful lot of water.
You don't say.
Well, why don't you do what my dogs do? Give yourself a good shake and lay down in the sun.
Thank you, honey, but there ain't gonna be time. Granny's just about ready to call victuals.
She is, but none of these critters is out yet. Why, they's liable to think Granny's calling them.
Joy, 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 down there by heart. Down it. I always wanted to try one of these fiddle bells. Come and get it, Don't bother about me. Go after our cattle.
Granny, we ain't got no cattle.
I know. The rustlers just stampeded off all 3,000 heads.
It was Ellie's dogs on the way to the kitchen.
They may have been Ellie's dogs going in, but there's going to be hot dogs coming out.
Granny, that's man's best friend.
Maybe so. But they sure got it in for us old women.
I don't want to see you getting upset again. You wait here while we go and check and see there's no dogs in your kitchen.
Well, if they is, they's going to be wearing buns, mustard, and relish.
At least there ain't no dogs in here.
You can thank me for that. I thought fast and got him into the storage room yonder.
Good find you, Jethro. How'd you do it?
I just used my head. Went in there and hollered, "Vittles, dogs, come get vittles."
Granny, get out of their way.
Looks like she made it, Pop. I don't see nothing out there but dogs.
Dogs and that old sack of flour they's jumping over.
That old sack of flour is your granny.
That carriage is dead. Them four-legged flea farmers run over me without so much as a by your leave.
Looks like you've been knocked clean out of your boots.
Keep laughing or you're going to look that way, too.
They must have got carried off in a rush. Now, where's your glasses?
I don't know. I can't find them without my glasses.
Don't be angry, Granny. Look, Calvin found your boots.
And it's a good thing he did.
And here comes Letitia with your glasses. Wasn't that sweet of her to bring him back to you?
No, it probably wasn't her prescription.
Granny, promise you my quiz won't bother you no more.
You're dang tootin' they won't. Either they hit the road or I do.
Oh,
I'm sorry, honey. I'm afraid her mind is made up.
okay, Granny. But we sure gonna miss you.
I ain't going nowhere. And by tomorrow morning, the only fur left around here better be on my imitation possum stove.
Now, Ilsa, I don't care if Mr. Drysdale did hire you. If you're going to keep on working here at the bank, you're going to have to learn to speak English instead of German.
Yes.
Well, that's better. However, when being approached by male employees, you must remember an even more important word. No.
No. Yes.
On second thought, just stick to sign language. A good slap in the face.
Miss Hathaway.
Oh, now here comes Mr. Drysdale. Practice the greeting I taught you.
Mr. Morninggood Drysdale.
Still having trouble with the English, eh? Well, perhaps a little private tutoring.
I'll take care of it, Chief.
Yes. Well, my wife's coming by this morning with one of her paranoid poodles. When she gets here, tell her I'm in conference for the next month.
Milburn! I saw you, Milburn.
How do you do, Mrs. Drysdale? Claude?
Milburn, come out from where you're hiding. You know Claude senses every nuance of your rejection of him. All right. I see you. Milburn, come out of there. You look like a sniper.
Don't give me any ideas.
Milburn, how dare you threaten Claude just after he's been clipped?
I'm the one who's been clipped. $35, he looks worse than when he went in.
His hair's still in rollers. Claude just doesn't have the patience to sit under the dryer.
Now, you quit wasting my money on beauty shots for this mutt. He already wears more makeup than you do.
Milburn, stop it. I will not have your sharp tongue undoing Claude's 3 years of psychoanalysis.
Then get him out of here.
Oh, how can you speak that way to your own dog? I think the only creature you care for is that Clampett animal.
I like Duke.
I was talking about Jed.
I'm busy.
Oh, you bourgeois merchant. A haircut always depresses Claude, and I brought him here for a pick-me-up.
I'll give him one. I'll pick him up and throw him right out.
You have insulted your child for the last time.
For the last time, he is not my child. He's not even my dog.
Very well. We'll see how your love for animals springs up when I tell the city dog catcher how many unlicensed dogs there are at the Clampetts.
Oh, Margaret, no.
And I hope he has room in his trunk for Granny.
Oh, please, Margaret.
Claude, don't waste your breath apologizing to us. We have neither the desire to listen nor the time. Claude is late for his dancing lesson.
Ellie, what have you been doing?
Oh, painting signs to give away my dogs.
Well, I hope you got as much paint on the signs as you did on yourself.
Oh, yes, sir. They's all done and up out in front.
Good. And you put on each one, free dogs to good home?
Oh, yes, sir. That's on 2 of them. Of course, I can't help it if the signs don't do no good and nobody comes.
Oh, somebody will come. I best go check them.
Oh, well, the weather's getting kind of cool out there, Pa. I'd best let you know when it's warm enough to go out.
And when do you suppose that might be?
Next summer?
Better look at these signs for Granny sees.
Well, Pa, if that's all you trust me, it's going to hurt my confidence.
Better that gets hurt than Granny takes after you. At least with a hurt confidence, you can still sit down. Where's the sign?
Well, there's one. Can't you see it?
Ellie, the only way anybody could read that from the car is if they drove right through the front door. And it ain't only too small. It don't spell nothing. The letters is all backwards.
Well, they ain't if when you hold them up to a mirror.
All right, Ellie, I'll put up the signs. You and Jethro drive down to the pet shop and see can they take some of your dogs.
Oh, Pa.
Now go on and don't you worry. Whilst you're gone, I'll try talking Granny into letting them stay.
Do you think you can?
Maybe, but it's going to be harder than giving a bath to a bobcat. Oh, Granny, nice to see you in such a good mood. Well, anyway, I'd like to have another little talk with you about the critters.
I've said all I'm gonna. And that is, if they is here tomorrow, I won't be.
Well, now, you're forgetting the nice things about them.
I never knew none. If they ain't underfoot, they sleeping. If they ain't sleeping, they's eating.
They sound a little like Jethro, don't they?
I have to put up with it from him. He's family. But I don't from critters. Ah! There's one now.
I believe he's helping you with your dusting.
I don't need no help with my housework. Besides, he's doing a sloppy job.
Look yonder. He's mopping your floor.
Yeah, and chewing up my best mop.
They're showing you they love you and want to ease your burden.
If they want to ease my burden, they can ease themselves right out the door. And it goes for raccoons, too.
He's helping you pick up.
You're wasting your time, you furry little hot-smoking sassafras. What's that?
We love you, Granny. Granny is dog's best friend. Now what do you say?
All right, I'll give them one more chance. The critters can stay.
Granny, you got a soft heart.
Yeah, and a head to match.
You'll be glad you changed your mind.
Oh, I am already. I think I'm going to cook up a special treat for all them darling little varmints.
I'm getting kind of hungry myself.
I'm going to fry up some fish heads and throw in some goat tripe and some gopher.
I can hardly wait to dig in.
That's what I'm giving the dogs. I'll fetch you a piece of cake.
Ellie, when did you and Jethro get back from the pet store?
Oh, a little bit ago. Why, he's waiting on the truck around the corner.
Run out of gas?
Oh, no, sir. Hey, did Granny fall for my critters' tricks and my signs and all?
Oh, well, I'm relieved to know it was you who was behind this. I'd hate to think it was your monkey Bessie that thought it all up.
Oh, no, sir, I thought it up. She just painted the sign.
Well, yeah, your granny melted like a snowball on a hot griddle.
Mean all my critters can stay? Well, Miranda and Esmeralda and Aubrey and Elma and Letitia and Forley and Boris and Natalie.
Ellie, you go enjoy them. By the time you're all through naming them, Granny may have kicked them out again.
Ellie, I'm tired of waiting.
Why didn't you come in with Ellie?
Well, you explain, Jethro. I gotta go tell Bessie that Granny ain't mad no more.
No wonder sure Ellie wanted you to wait. Any more of her dogs around the truck and folks would think it was a butcher wagon.
Yeah, driving home from the pet shop, I pretty near got licked to death.
Wait a minute. I see some strange faces. Are you sure these are all the same dogs you left here with?
Heck no. We left here with none.
None?
Yeah, these is all new ones Ellie bought at the pet shop. Said she couldn't stand to see them in cages.
Good thing Granny's got over her mad about critters.
Down in my heart. Down in my heart. Jed, come get your cake.
Wait, he didn't mean you. Now, hold it. Granny.
Mark my words. If I find one critter still around here by sundown, I'm gonna make a rug out of him.
I don't think Granny's over her mad yet.
Good thinking, boy. Now I know what they mean about a place going to the dog.
Mr. Drysdale, Miss Jane. Oh, hi there, Fifi.
Hello, Ellie Mae.
What is it, Ellie?
Oh, Jethro just dropped me off. We've been driving around looking for a nice place away from the house to keep my dogs.
Well, that's a good idea, Ellie.
Yeah, but we ain't having no luck.
Well, did you try a boarding kennel?
Oh, I couldn't lock them up nowhere.
I'm afraid that's the only place you're going to find.
Well, unless you want to keep them here in my office.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Drysdale.
Do something.
You mean tell her to get the dogs out of the bank?
Of course not. Mr. Clampett's money might go with them.
What can I do? You extended the invitation.
First of all, get Fifi out of here. Claude will go mad if he finds a strange dog's hair on her coat. Now, wait a minute, Ellie.
Oh, Ilsa, good. I want you to take a dog for a walk. Do you understand? I meant Fifi. Just walk her up and down in front of the bank until I take her for her clipping. Understand?
No.
I'll be right back, Chief.
And hurry! At least you can let me have my own chair. Forget it. I'll just sit on the floor.
Howdy, Elsa.
73 million.
Thank you. Must be true about clothes making the man. Put on a new shirt this morning, and already I'm causing a stir.
Ich verstehe nicht.
Say, your English is getting real good.
No.
I come by to pick up Ellie, but what about you and me going for a ride first, huh?
Oh, no. Wait hour one. Clip Fifi.
An hour to give a dog a haircut? I seen how they do that in the pet shop. Come on.
Howdy, Mr. Drysdale, Miss Jane. What you doing down here doing business hours?
Mr. Clampett, Granny, the Commerce Bank is now in chaos.
Oh, you opened up a new branch, huh?
Congratulations.
You don't quite understand. Mr. Drysdale means that Ellie's bringing her dogs to the bank is causing a bit of trouble.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, no. Don't be offended. We'll make room for the little darling. I'll put Miss Hathaway's desk out in the parking lot.
Oh, no, I mean I'm sorry Ellie brought the animals down there. She was supposed to find a place to board them.
I'll board her when she gets back.
Well, I can appreciate Ellie's not wanting to have the dogs locked up.
Well, I couldn't stand for them to be put in a powder someplace like that neither. But if they can't stay here, and she won't find a place to board them, well, then I reckon we gotta give them away.
Mr. Clampett, look what Jethro did to my Fifi.
I'd be happy to, ma'am, but I don't even know what your Fifi is.
This is Fifi, you clod. Look at the way Jethro clipped her.
I'm sorry, Miss Drysdale. Looks like the boy cuts hair the way he cuts meat.
What do you mean? Jethro is a genius. Fifi is the first dog in her block to have a psychedelic hairdo.
Speaking of hair, I think you flipped your wig.
Oh, you. Just wait until you see your electric razor.
What?
Jethro used it on Fifi, the new one on your desk.
Oh, she must mean the shave the Bankers Association gave you for being Fleecer of the Year.
It's time for Fifi's sauna bath. Do thank Jethro again for me.
Margaret, a sauna bath?
Later, Milburn. I must be off.
She's off, all right. I just hope she's not dangerous.
Well, now the only critter problem you have is with Granny.
Don't worry. I reckon there's enough problem there for everybody. Ready? For the last time, why don't you let the critter stay another week? It won't be no skin off your nose.
I ain't taking no chances. I've already lost enough skin to him. And not off my nose, neither.
I declare, it's easier to change the weather than your mind.
Ellie got the dogs ready?
Yeah, Jethro's got the sign out front, too.
Good.
Bye, Archibald. Don't go stepping in the mud. Bye now, my little friend. Now, don't y'all forget to ride.
Ellie, I wouldn't count on that last.
Just a paw print on a Christmas card.
Okay, I got the sign up. Free dogs to good homes.
Did you paint a big one?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you see it from the street?
Oh, yes, sir. It's real close to the street. As a matter of fact, it's blocking the street. Leastways it was.
Hey, Granny. They's all ready to go.
Hey, how about me giving Archibald a haircut? We don't want people to think he's a hippie.
Get it, boy. We seen a sample of your work.
Which one you want to give away first, Granny?
I don't know.
Well, look 'em over.
No, I can't do it. I can't let him go. They're as much a part of our family as you and Jethro.
Oh, thank you, Granny.
Speaking of Jethro, where is he?
Hey, where's Archibald? Come here, Archibald. You can stay.
He's coming. I just give him a little trim. Come on, Archibald. This was what was under all that hair.
Archibald, you're bald. Oh, I'm gonna get you.
No, wait, Granny, Granny!
Popovers and proposals, Ellie's cooking disasters and Granny's marriage campaign. There are certain opening moments in classic television that settle into the bones the way the smell of wood smoke settles into an old coat. For me, the first minutes of this particular stretch of Beverly Hillbillies episodes have always been one of those moments. I can still picture the living room of the Clampett mansion as clearly as if I had once sat on that sofa myself, the late afternoon California light slanting through the tall windows. The family gathered around a table that somehow managed to look both grand and homemade at the same time. And there at the center of it all is the plate of popovers. Okay everybody, hot popovers coming up, boy. The line is so simple, so ordinary, and yet every time I hear it, I feel the same small lift of anticipation mixed with dread that the Clampetts themselves must feel. Ellie Mae has been cooking again. Jed's voice comes next, warm and resigned and full of that quiet courage only Buddy Ebsen could make sound completely natural. I'm hungry enough to eat anything, even Ellie's cooking. It is one of those lines that contains an entire philosophy. Jed never mocks his daughter's efforts. He simply accepts the risk the way a man accepts weather. In that single sentence lives the whole Clampett code. Loyalty, first, truth, second, and humor somewhere in between is the only way to survive both. Ellie is proud of the popovers. These is dandy popovers, Ellie, someone says, and she answers with that soft earnest pride that Donna Douglas always brought to the role. Yeah, smell good too. Well, I'm proud of them myself. There is something heartbreaking in that pride. Ellie Mae is not a fool. She knows her cooking has a reputation, yet she keeps trying the way some people keep planting gardens in rocky soil. Granny, of course, is already looking past the food to the larger project of Ellie's future. You'll just eat up while I show you the dress I made. The dress is only a pretext. What Granny really wants is to move the conversation toward marriage, toward the terrible possibility that Ellie might remain an old maid forever. I have always felt a private tenderness for Granny in these early scenes. Irene Ryan played her with such volcanic energy that it is easy to forget how much fear lived underneath the fire. Every time Ellie has a birthday, Granny dresses in black and goes into mourning. The joke is broad, almost vaudeville, yet it carries a real ache. In the Hills, an unmarried daughter was not merely a social inconvenience, she was a living reminder that the future might not continue. Granny's campaign to get Ellie married is therefore not pure meddling, it is a form of love that has nowhere else to go. Jethro is the first to test the popovers, and the physical comedy that follows still makes me laugh out loud after all these years. He bites, freezes, and declares this popover's a lie. Jed has to pry the thing from his nephew's mouth. Thanks, Uncle Jeff. I think you saved my life. The exchange is pure Clampett exaggerated danger met with deadpan rescue. Jed's follow-up is one of those lines I have quoted to myself in ordinary life more times than I can count. After all these years of you attacking your food, it's finally getting back at you. I can see the headline, Vittles Revenge, Jethro killed by popover. There is a whole comic tradition in that headline, the old newspaper joke style that the show loved, yet it also feels strangely modern. Food is revenge. The idea that the things we consume might one day consume us. Even in 1960s sitcom form, the thought has teeth. Jed tries another bite and immediately revises his opinion. Can't taste as bad as it looks. I was wrong. Tastes worse. The timing is perfect. Buddy Ebsen never rushed a line like that. He let the silence after looks do half the work, then delivered the verdict with the mild disappointment of a man who has been disappointed by food before and expects to be disappointed again. Meanwhile, Granny is already spinning the disaster into a larger lesson about Ellie's romantic prospect. Ellie ain't never gonna get herself a fella using bait like this. Jed answers with the gentle wisdom that always made him the moral center of the show, there's still a chance. Men don't live by bread alone. Granny's retort is pure hill country poetry, if he eats some of Ellie's he don't live, period. And then the wedding present joke that still lands like a perfect punchline, well, if she ever does get herself a husband, I know what to give him for a wedding present. Stomach pump. I remember the first time I heard that line as a child. I laughed the way children laugh at anything involving bodily disaster. Years later I hear it differently. The stomach pump is not only a joke about Ellie's cooking, it is a joke about the terror of commitment itself. Marriage in Granny's comic vision is something that might require medical intervention. The humor is broad. Yet it touches something real about the way rural families once talked about the risks of joining two lives together. Granny then turns on Jed for using the word spinster. Get yourself cleaned up and stop this spinster talk. Ellie will get herself a husband. The reprimand is hypocritical and Granny knows it. Jed calls her on it at once. You're the one that's always calling her an old maid. Hey Granny, every time Ellie has a birthday you dress up in a black dress and go in the morning. The exchange is pure family argument, the kind that circles the same old wound without ever quite healing it. And then Granny reveals her new plan. She has found someone who needs help in the romance department worse than Ellie. The someone is Miss Jane. I have always loved the way the show handles Miss Jane Hathaway. Nancy Kulp played her with such precise, almost brittle dignity that the character could have been merely a comic foil. Instead, she became something richer, a woman of genuine intelligence and loneliness who keeps finding herself tangled in the Clampett's chaotic goodwill. Granny's plan is simple and slightly cruel. Jethro does not have to court Miss Jane or take her out. He only has to propose. Every woman has the right to say she's been proposed to once in a lifetime. The line is pure Granny, sentimental and ruthless at the same time. She is not interested in Miss Jane's actual happiness. She is interested in the ceremonial fact of the proposal, as if the asking itself were a kind of blessing that could be bestowed and then withdrawn. Jethro's resistance is immediate and entirely characteristic. I'm sure it's a worthy cause, but it ain't worthy enough to get married. Granny flatters him with the outrageous inventory of his virtues, somebody that she respects and slick, handsome, smart, good-mannered. When Jethro objects to being called a mule, Granny smoothly revises the insult into a compliment, a jewel. A jewel, the verbal pirouette is pure Irene Ryan. She could turn a slap into a caress without changing expression. And then comes the bribe. Granny begins listing Jethro's favorite dishes: bacon and buzzard eggs, squirrel, and parsley pie, corned beaver and cabbage, until the boy is ready to prune 14 acres of trees with his teeth if that is what it takes to keep the food coming. Watching this sequence now, I find myself thinking about the quiet desperation underneath the comedy. Granny is not simply matchmaking, she is trying to arrange the world so that no one she loves is left alone. The popovers are a failure. Ellie's sewing may or may not succeed. The only reliable tool Granny has left is Jethro's appetite and his residual sense of duty. So she weaponizes both. The scene is funny because Max Baer Jr. plays Jethro's greed and reluctance with such open-faced sincerity. It is touching because Irene Ryan lets us see just for a second how much the old woman needs the plan to work. There is a particular quality to the humor in these early minutes that I have never found anywhere else. It is not satire exactly, and it is not pure farce. It is something closer to domestic folklore, the same spirit that once produced tall tales about giant mosquitoes or frozen words that thawed in spring. The Clampetts take the ordinary disasters of family life, bad cooking, unmarried daughters, reluctant nephews, and stretch them until they become mythic. A popover can kill. A proposal can be performed as pure ceremony. A list of impossible hill country dishes can purchase a man's temporary obedience. And through it all runs Buddy Ebsen's calm presence, the still point around which the chaos turns. Jed never panics. He simply observes, rescues, and occasionally delivers a headline that turns private disaster into public comedy. I sometimes wonder what it would have felt like to watch this scene in its original moment in a living room somewhere in 1960s America. The family gathered the same way the Clampetts are gathered. The culture clash jokes would have landed differently then. The idea of a mountain family suddenly rich and still cooking the old way was both comforting and gently subversive. Today, the same scene feels like a message in a bottle from a vanished world, a world in which food could still be dangerous, in which an unmarried woman was a crisis, and in which the solution to almost everything was another helping of whatever was on the stove. And so the episode begins not with a bang but with a plate of popovers that smell good and taste like disaster. Ellie is proud, Jed is hungry and philosophical, Jethro is nearly killed by pastry, Granny is already plotting the next move in her lifelong campaign against loneliness. The table is set. And somewhere in the distance, still unseen, Miss Jane Hathaway is about to become the unwilling object of a proposal that no one, least of all Jethro, actually wants to make. I have watched this beginning dozens of times, and every time I feel the same mixture of laughter and something quieter, something like gratitude that these people still exist, still argue, still eat, and still try in their crooked and wry, magnificent way to take care of one another. The forced proposal, Jethro asks Miss Jane, and the unexpected acceptance. I have always believed that the true heart of this stretch of episodes reveals itself not in the broad physical gags but in the long, awkward, strangely tender sequence in which Jethro finally forces himself to propose to Miss Jane. It is a scene I have returned to more times than I can count, not because it is the funniest but because it contains a quiet ache that the laughter never quite covers. Watching it now, I feel the same mixture of amusement and protectiveness I felt the first time I saw it as a much younger viewer. Jethro is so completely himself, hungry, forgetful, earnest, and doomed, and Miss Jane is so completely herself, precise, lonely, and suddenly cornered by her own compassion that the moment becomes larger than the plot that contains it. The sequence begins as so many Clampett disasters do, with a simple errand that immediately goes sideways. Jethro arrives at the Commerce Bank carrying gifts. He has brought something maple and something electric for Miss Jane, and a handful of roses whose poem he cannot quite remember. Roses is red, violets is blue, sugar is sweet, come on gone. I keep forgetting the last part. The line is pure Max Baer Jr. He delivers it with the open-faced sincerity of a man who genuinely believes the poem will improve if he just concentrates harder. When he finally reaches the ending and so are you, he is so pleased with himself that he forgets Elsa is standing right there. The introduction that follows is one of those small masterpieces of confusion the show specialized in. Elsa meets Jethro. Me eat that. Jethro hears a name that sounds like food and immediately tries to be polite to it. Howdy. Missa. Hey, that's a beautiful name. I still laugh at the physical comedy of that moment, but I also feel a small pang. Jethro is trying so hard to be the sophisticated international playboy he keeps insisting he has become. The Beverly Hills air has, in his own words, done rubbed off on him. Yet every gesture betrays the boy from the hills. He forgets the purpose of his visit. He forgets the time he is supposed to pick Miss Jane up. He forgets, most fatally, the proposal itself the moment his stomach begins to speak louder than his duty. I come to invite you out for dinner, but there's something I gotta ask you. I forgot, but I'll remember by tonight. The line is delivered with such cheerful confidence that it becomes almost heroic. Jethro believes against all evidence that memory and appetite can be negotiated with. Miss Jane's private explanation for accepting the invitation remains one of the most quietly devastating speeches Nancy Culp ever gave. Standing alone after Jethro has lumbered out, she addresses the camera of our imagination with perfect clarity. I suppose you're wondering why I accepted a dinner invitation with that simple bucolic youth. It is not his uncle's 73 million but rather his pitiable ineptitude with women. I could not bear to see him rejected once again. And 2, I haven't had a date myself for 6 months. The honesty is almost painful. Miss Jane is not a fool. She knows exactly how mismatched they are. She accepts anyway because pity and loneliness have formed a temporary alliance inside her. Every time I hear that speech I feel a protective surge toward the character. Nancy Culp played Miss Jane with such crisp intelligence that it is easy to forget how much quiet hunger lived behind the glasses and the precise diction. 6 months without a date is not a comic detail. It is a small confession. The restaurant sequence that follows is pure culture clash poetry. Jethro has secured a pretty good table, all the way in the back right next to the kitchen. The waiter's horror at their appearance is immediate. Ordinarily we do not admit people in costume. Jethro, oblivious, begins ordering as if he were still in the hills. If she decides on chicken she gets the whole bird. Hold it, bring her a double helping of alley carts. I'm having baked hog livers. When the waiter confesses they have none, Jethro escalates with the serene confidence of a man who believes every kitchen on earth must contain the same pantry. All right, then deep fry them in possum fat. What about beaver tails, possum shanks, hog gizzards, buzzard eggs? The list grows longer and more impossible, and the waiter's face in my memory grows longer with it. Finally, Jethro is informed that the restaurant does offer pâté de foie gras. That's goose livers. Miss Jane explains carefully. Jethro's reply is pure hill country moral outrage. Goose livers. How can people eat such thing? I have always loved this exchange because it reveals something essential about Jethro's character. He is not simply ignorant. He possesses a coherent if narrow philosophy of food. Hog livers are honest. Goose livers are a kind of decadence he cannot forgive. The same boy who will later try to play a cello under his chin is here defending a culinary tradition with absolute sincerity. Max Baer Jr. never plays these moments for pure stupidity. He plays them as conviction. That is why the comedy remains warm rather than cruel. Throughout the meal, Jethro keeps almost remembering the proposal, and then losing it again to hunger. It seems I was supposed to ask you something tonight, but I've been so hungry I can't remember what it was. Miss Jane, already sensing the shape of the evening, tries to steer him gently. The voice of Granny seems to haunt him. He asks Miss Jane whether her conscience ever sounds like Granny, and when she says no, he looks both relieved and slightly disappointed. The interruption by a stranger admiring his tie finally jogs the memory loose. They reminded me what I want to ask you. Miss Jane, will you marry me? The proposal itself is so simple it almost disappears. There is no ring, yet no speech, no dropping to one knee. Just the question asked with the same cheerful directness Jethro might use to ask for another helping of gravy. And then, Miss Jane does the unthinkable. She says yes. I have watched Nancy Kulp deliver that acceptance more times than I can count, and it never fails to move me. She does not say yes because she wants to marry Jethro. She says yes because she cannot bear to watch him be rejected one more time. Jethro, sweet, innocent Jethro. How can I refuse that plate of face? How can I say no? She lists the many ways a person might refuse Nick's never, absolutely not, or just shake your head no and then deliberately chooses none of them. So used to being rebuffed, turned away, scorned, but not from me. For once you shall hear what your heart has been longing to hear. Yes, yes. You have been rejected for the last time. I shall make the sacrifice. My answer is yes, yes, yes. The camera in my memory seems to hold on her face a fraction longer than necessary. There is real feeling there, pity, loneliness, a kind of reckless generosity. And then the comic counterpoint arrives immediately, the knowing voices off screen or in the audience's mind crying no, 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 while Jethro beams with pure delight. The collision of those two responses, Miss Jane's sacrificial yes and the world's horrified no, is one of the purest distillations of the show's comic method. Everything is simultaneously heartbreaking and ridiculous. What follows is the rapid collapse of the moment. Miss Jane returns to the bank already regretting everything. Mr. Drysdale, smelling the possible loss of the Clampett millions, pressures her with the cold logic of money. You know how the Clampetts feel about honor and duty. This marriage is only a matter of dollars and cents. It's millions of dollars, millions of cents. Miss Jane's reply is one of the sharpest moral stands she ever takes. Do you mean that for Mr. Clampett's money you would sacrifice two people to lives of certain unhappiness? Drysdale's answer, now try me on a hard one, is pure Raymond Bailey, the perfect embodiment of cheerful capitalist ruthlessness. Yet even here the show refuses to make him a simple villain. He is merely a man who has forgotten there are values that cannot be deposited. Miss Jane's private desperation is palpable. I won't let Jethro pay a lifetime for his one moment of mad infatuation. I'll think of a way out of this. Meanwhile, Jethro back at the mansion is already contemplating a kind of comic suicide by overeating. I've decided I'm gonna take a overdose of food and eat myself to death. Jed's gentle response, glad you ain't rushing into it, that's a fitting way to go with your stomach, contains both affection and the old Clampett refusal to panic. The code of the hills has been invoked. A proposal has been made and accepted. Honor is now at stake. And somewhere in the kitchen Granny is already beginning to brew the antidote that will of course create its own new disasters. I return to this proposal sequence the way one returns to an old photograph that still has the power to surprise. The humor is broad Hogliver's forgotten poems, a yes that should have been a no, yet underneath it runs a current of real loneliness and real kindness. Jethro wants so badly to do the right thing that he does the wrong thing with complete sincerity. Miss Jane wants so badly not to hurt him that she hurts them both. And the audience, or at least this particular longtime viewer, sits in the middle feeling protective of both of them. That is the peculiar magic of these episodes. They make you laugh at the characters and then almost in the same breath make you want to shield them from the consequences of their own soft hearts. The forced proposal is over. The acceptance has been spoken. The machinery of regret and remedy is already beginning to turn, and I find myself as always unwilling to look away. Elsa and infatuation, Jethro's sudden love for the silent new employee. There are moments in these episodes when the entire comic machinery seems to pause just for a breath and something unexpectedly pure steps forward. Jethro's sudden absolute infatuation with Elsa is one of those moments. I have always felt a peculiar tenderness for this stretch of the story because it reveals Jethro at his most defenseless. Up to this point he has been the willing instrument of Granny's schemes, the hungry negotiator, the boy trying on the costume of a sophisticated international playboy. Then Elsa appears silent, uncomprehending, beautiful in the way only a woman who cannot answer back can be beautiful to a certain kind of young man, and everything else falls away. The introduction is pure chaos, of course. Mr. Drysdale has hired her as the new bank guard because, as he explains with perfect capitalist logic, what kind of a background will she make a great one with her to look at? You think the crook's gonna care about robbing us? Elsa speaks no English. She understands no English. She simply exists in the lobby of the Commerce Bank like a piece of living scenery. Into this silence walks Jethro. Still carrying the residual confusion of his half-forgotten mission to propose to Miss Jane, he sees her and the world rearranges itself. Granny, I'm in love. The declaration comes later back at the mansion, but the feeling is born in that first glance. Max Baer Jr. plays the moment with an openness that still undoes me. There is no calculation in Jethro's face. There is only the sudden total certainty that this is the woman he is going to marry. When Granny, naturally assuming he means Miss Jane, begins to congratulate herself on the success of her plan, Jethro has to correct her with rising urgency. She's the most wonderful, perfect, beautifulest girl in the whole world. Miss Jane, she did give you something to eat. Granny, I'm talking about me, Elsa. The girl I'm gonna ask to be my wife. I remember the first time I heard that correction. I laughed. Of course, the comic misunderstanding is perfectly engineered, but underneath the laughter I felt a small protective ache. Jethro has been handed a script by Granny, proposed to Miss Jane, collect the promised feast, satisfy the code of the hills. Instead, he has written an entirely new script in the space of a single heartbeat. I am really in love. How about our deal? All them victuals I'm cooking for you. Granny, you just don't understand. This time it's the real thing. The phrase "the real thing" lands with surprising weight. Jethro is not a young man given to irony. When he says it, he means it with every unexamined corner of his heart. What follows is one of the purest expressions of Jethro's character in the entire series. He tries to keep the secret of the original proposal while simultaneously overflowing with the new love. Jed, sensing that something is being withheld, begins the classic Clampett interrogation. Go ahead, Uncle Jed, insult me, rob me, torture me. Ain't nothing gonna make me tell my secret. Jethro offers himself up for medieval punishments, tied to the rack, burning bamboo under the fingernails, dragged behind wild horses with the cheerful confidence of a man who believes his own silence is impregnable. Jed's response is quietly devastating in its mildness. I said you keep your secret. Somebody'll tell me before long. The old man's patience is infinite. He has lived with Jethro long enough to know that secrets are only temporary residents in that particular head. The comic mechanics are flawless, yet I find myself lingering on the emotional truth underneath. Jethro is experiencing, perhaps for the first time, a feeling that does not revolve around food or duty, or Granny's approval. Elsa has given him nothing, no conversation, no encouragement, not even a smile that can be confidently interpreted. She has simply been present, and that has been enough. In the economy of Jethro's heart, silence becomes a kind of perfection. She cannot reject him because she cannot understand him. She cannot disappoint him because she exists outside the reach of ordinary language. She is, in the most literal sense, the woman of his dreams, a blank screen onto which he can project every longing he does not yet have words for. Back at the mansion, the feast Granny has prepared as payment for the Miss Jane proposal sits waiting. Groundhog gravy, parsnip and squirrel pie, all the dishes Jethro has bargained for with his teeth and his pride. He is surrounded by the tangible rewards of the old scheme, while the new love is already rewriting his future. Tell me all about that girl that you're crazy mad in love with. Jed's question is gentle, almost fatherly. Jethro's answer is pure overflow. I adore her. I am crazy mad in love with her. Granny, I'd do anything for her. The language is the language of every sudden infatuation since the beginning of time, yet in Jethro's mouth it takes on a special innocence. He has no defenses and no filters. What he feels he announces at full volume. I have always been moved by the way the show refuses to mock the feeling itself. The situations surrounding it are ridiculous: the secret proposal, the mountain of food, the non-English speaking object of desire, but the emotion is treated with a strange respect. Jethro is not a fool for falling in love at first sight. He is simply Jethro, and Jethro has never done anything by halves. When he later decides that the only way to propose properly is to forget his Beverly Hills sophistication and return to pure country hick form, the decision is both comic and weirdly logical. I got to forget that I'm a sophisticated international playboy and find out how a country hick would propose to a gal. He asks Jed for pointers on how to be a hayseed, as if the older man were the last remaining expert on a vanishing art. Thank goodness you're still just as rough as a cob. The compliment is so sincerely delivered that it becomes a kind of love letter to the old life they left behind. Watching this now, I feel the same complicated affection I always feel for Jethro in these moments. He is absurd and he is also completely transparent. There is no gap between what he feels and what he says. In a world both the Beverly Hills of the show and the world outside the screen that runs on calculation and carefully managed surfaces, Jethro's inability to hide anything becomes a form of grace. Elsa will never understand the words he wants to say to her. Miss Jane has already been entangled in a proposal he no longer wants to complete. Granny's carefully prepared feast is cooling on the table. And in the middle of it all stands Jethro, radiant with a love that has no realistic future and no need for one. The infatuation with Elsa is not a subplot. It is the moment when the forced machinery of Granny's marriage campaign begins to break down under the pressure of something more spontaneous and more human. Jethro was willing to propose to Miss Jane for food and duty. He is willing to rearrange his entire understanding of himself for a woman who has not yet spoken a single word he can understand. That difference feels, even after all these years, like a small revelation. The boy who could be bribed by buzzard eggs and groundhog gravy has discovered a currency that no kitchen can match. I sit with this sequence longer than the plot strictly requires because it still surprises me. In the middle of all the noise, the secret keeping, the food bargaining, the comic threats of torture, there is a young man who has just fallen in love and who believes with every unguarded corner of his being that this time it is the real thing. The show never asks us to believe that the romance will succeed. It only asks us to believe that the feeling is genuine, and every time I return to these scenes I do. Anti-love potion X4, Granny's charms, stomach pumps and romantic antidotes. There is a particular flavor of desperation that only Jethro Bodine can make look almost cheerful, and it fills these next scenes like the smell of something strong cooking in a closed kitchen. I have always been drawn to this stretch of the story because it shows the Clampett family doing what they do best, meeting a crisis that is entirely of their own making with a mixture of ancient codes, improvised folk magic and the quiet certainty that food will somehow be involved. Jethro is trapped. He has proposed. Miss Jane has accepted. The code of the hills has been invoked. And now the boy who only hours earlier was radiant with new love for the silent Elsa finds himself staring at a future that feels like a life sentence. I've decided I'm gonna take an overdose of food and eat myself to death. The line is delivered with the solemn conviction of a man who has weighed all available options and found only one that suits his talents. Jed's response is pure Buddy Ebsen, gentle, practical and faintly amused. Glad you ain't rushing into it. That's a fitting way to go with your stomach. I ain't sure it's possible. The exchange still makes me smile, but it also touches something deeper. Jethro's idea of suicide is not violence or despair in any modern sense. It is simply the logical extension of his greatest appetite. If life has become unbearable, the solution is to meet the unbearable with the one force he has always trusted more of everything. Jed tries to offer hope through the old mountain logic. Your honor bound, it's the code of the hills. And maybe we could find a loophole. One thing could save you is if Miss Jane changes her mind. Women has been known to do that. The words carry the weight of a culture that still believed a man's word once given could not be casually withdrawn. Listening to them now, I feel the distance between that world and our own. The code is both ridiculous and strangely moving. It elevates a comic misunderstanding into a matter of honor, and in doing so it forces every character to reveal what they truly value. While Jethro contemplates death by cornflakes and gravy, Granny has been at work in the kitchen on a different kind of remedy. The anti-love potion is one of those creations that could only have come from Irene Ryan's Granny. You'll be right along with my anti-love potion X4. It's a charm I never dared try before. Marked emergency use only. The name itself is perfect, clinical and mythic at the same time. Granny has numbered it like a modern product while rooting it firmly in the old traditions of charms and conjures. She is exhausted from the making of it. Making X4 really took a lot out of me, Jed. The admission is small, but it humanizes her. Even Granny's magic has a cost. When the potion is finally presented, the physical comedy is immediate and overwhelming. The smell alone is enough to clear a room. What's that horrible smell? That's Flammer. Jethro's horror is absolute. Granny explains the guarantees with the calm confidence of a woman who has tested her recipes on worse things than reluctant fiancés. If you wear it around your neck, it's guaranteed to break up anything from puppy love to passionate romance. It'll not only rid you of all unwanted sweethearts and fiancés, but it will kill any flying insect within 100 yards, any human being within 10. The escalation is pure hillbilly hyperbole, yet Irene Ryan delivers it with such matter-of-fact authority that you almost believe the physics. Jethro's refusal is instantaneous and absolute. "I'd marry Cousin Bessie before I'd wear that thing." The line is one of those perfect Clampett compressions, disgust, loyalty and comic exaggeration fused into a single breath. Jed, ever the practical peacemaker, orders the potion destroyed. Take anti-love potion X4 out and bury it in a deep hole, and stomp on the ground hard before you put it in so the fumes can get away. The instructions are so precise they become poetry. Even the disposal of magic requires care in this household. Granny watches her strongest charm being condemned with genuine regret. A lot of work went into that potion, Jed. I hate to think of what else. That was the strongest charm in my book. There's nothing left for me to make. The moment is funny, but it is also oddly poignant. Granny has emptied her arsenal. The old ways have reached their limit. What remains is the wedding cake and the engagement ring. The ring is pure Clampett heirloom. He can use my old engagement ring. It wasn't expensive, but it's got a lot of sentimental value. That's the one your husband carved out of a marrow bone. Must be a lot of memories attached to it. A little gristle too. I have always loved this detail. The ring is not gold or diamond, it is bone and memory and a residual bit of the animal it came from. In the Clampett world, even the symbols of romance remain tied to the physical facts of survival. Jed's quiet observation that there will not be much gristle left by the time Jethro finishes with it is both a joke about the boy's habits and a gentle acknowledgement that nothing in this family stays pristine for long. Meanwhile, across town, Miss Jane has reached her own breaking point. The pressure from Mr. Drysdale, who sees only the threat to the Clampett millions, has become unbearable. She decides on honesty. I have decided to come right out and tell him I cannot marry him. The speech she prepares is full of the formal dignity Nancy Culp always brought to the character, yet underneath it runs real fear. When Jethro arrives with the ring tooth marks already visible on the marrow bone, the confrontation is brief and devastating. I have bad news for you. I cannot marry you. My heart must hurt, but the pain will pass. You must try to forget me. Try. And then Jethro does the last thing anyone expects. He celebrates. Hot dog, I'm a free man. Free. The explosion of joy is so complete, so unguarded that it becomes almost beautiful. Max Baer Jr. plays the moment without a trace of irony. Jethro has been delivered from a fate worse than hunger, and he receives the delivery with the same wholehearted intensity he brings to every emotion. There is no bitterness, no lingering wound. There is only the pure animal relief of a creature that has slipped the trap. I return to these scenes often because they capture something essential about the way the Clampetts handle crisis. They do not process feelings in the modern sense. They cook them, bury them, wear them around their necks, or eat their way through them. The anti-love potion is ridiculous. The marrow bone ring is ridiculous. The planned death by overeating is ridiculous. And yet every one of these solutions is offered with complete seriousness by people who have no other tools. Watching Granny exhaust her magic, watching Jethro refuse the charm that might have saved him, watching Miss Jane choose honesty over the bank's interests, all of it still feels after all these years like a kind of rough grace. The potion is buried. The ring is rejected. The engagement is broken. Jethro is free, at least for the moment, to return to the silent perfection of Elsa and the unfinished business of his own hungry heart. And somewhere in the kitchen the smell of the anti-love potion is still fading, a reminder that even the strongest charms have limits when measured against the stubborn, comic, unkillable hope that keeps this family moving forward. Concert and ambition. Miss Jane introduces Jethro to classical music and Sebastian Stromboli. I have always cherished the quiet shift that occurs when Miss Jane decides that music might be the making of Jethro Bodine. Up to this point, the boy's ambitions have been measured in helpings and proposals and the occasional half-formed career scheme. Now suddenly there is a violin in the air and with it a whole new register of longing. The sequence begins as so many of Miss Jane's hopeful interventions do, with the best of intentions and the clearest of misunderstandings. She has taken Jethro to hear Sebastian Stromboli. The report she brings back to the Clampett kitchen the next morning is full of the precise enthusiasm Nancy Culp always gave the character, Granny, that Sebastian Stromboli is an absolute virtuoso. I thought he was a fiddle player. He's a concert violinist, and you should have seen Jethro's reaction to the music. I think I have finally discovered his true interest. The words are spoken with real hope. Miss Jane has watched Jethro fail at so many things. Here at last seems to be a doorway into a finer world. She believes she has seen a spark. What she has actually seen is something far more Jethro. On the way home he could talk of nothing but the violin, yet the talk was not about the music. It was about the girls who appeared at the end of the concert with flowers and kisses. The best part was when I woke up. At the end, when everybody was clapping. That's when these pretty girls come up and give old Stromboli a bouquet of roses and a big kiss. The confession is delivered with such open delight that it becomes almost innocent. Jethro slept through Brahms and Bach and Beethoven. He woke for the applause and the women. In his mind, the two are now permanently fused. The violin is a tool for attracting female attention, and the greater the instrument, the greater the attention. If he can be such a hit playing that itty-bitty violin, I'll be twice as popular with the girls playing one that's bigger. I still laugh at the logic, and I still feel a small protective pang. Jethro has taken the one detail that made sense to him and built an entire future upon it. Miss Jane's carefully planned cultural evening has been translated without residue into the only language he truly speaks. The show never punishes him for the translation. It simply lets the misunderstanding stand in all its pure-hearted absurdity. Back at the mansion, the conversation turns to lessons. Miss Jane is determined. A familiarity with classical music can be most rewarding. Granny, of course, hears something entirely different. Them fellas that fiddled for the barn dance was always looked up to. When Miss Jane names Brahms, Bach and Beethoven, Granny considers the matter with the seriousness she brings to all unfamiliar recipes. I never danced to that one, but it sounds like a real toe-tapper. The collision of the two musical worlds is instantaneous and complete. One woman is thinking of concert halls and immortal composers. The other is thinking of Saturday nights and the sound of boots on wooden floors. Between them stands Jethro, already imagining the size of the instrument that will double his chances. The decision is made to secure the best teacher possible. Miss Jane suggests Stromboli himself. The price is mentioned almost casually, at first $10,000 for an hour's appearance, and then escalates with the same relentless logic that once turned a simple proposal into a matter of mountain honor. Mr. Drysdale is brought into the scheme against his will and against his wallet. The scenes that follow between Drysdale and the maestro are pure comic agony. Raymond Bailey plays the banker's pain with the intensity of a man watching his fortune being carved into small expensive slices. Do you know what it's gonna cost you to hire this bull pusher Spumoni? The mispronunciation alone is a small masterpiece. Stromboli is not a name Drysdale wants to say correctly. Each correct syllable costs money. When the two men finally meet the violinist, the culture clash reaches a new register. Hans Conried's Stromboli is all wounded dignity and continental outrage. No handshaking, please. One over-exuberant admirer and the music of the gods would be stilled forever. The line is delivered with such perfect self-regard that it becomes strangely touching. This is a man who has constructed an entire personality out of the fragility of his art. Into that fragility walks Mr. Drysdale with an offer of beginning violin lessons for a young man from the hills. The offers rise 10,000, 15,000, 20,000, each one received as a fresh insult, until the final figure collides with the practical reality of 6 ex-wives and alimony payments. Yes, I may be a genius, but that doesn't make me a nut. The surrender is complete, and it is made for the most human of reasons. The rent is due on a life lived beyond its means. I find myself lingering on Miss Jane in these scenes. Her hope is so genuine and so doomed. She has tried to give Jethro something beautiful. She has paid for tickets, arranged the evening, interpreted the music for him in the car afterward. What she receives in return is the news that he slept through the performance and woke only for the girls, yet she does not withdraw her effort. She simply adjusts the plan and goes looking for the best teacher money can buy. There is a stubborn generosity in her that the show never fully explains and never needs to. She keeps trying to civilize the Clampetts in small hopeful increments, and the Clampetts keep translating her gifts into their own language. The violin will become in Jethro's hands another way to meet girls. The maestro will become another victim of mountain logic, and Miss Jane will keep believing against all evidence that the next attempt might succeed. Watching it now, I feel the same complicated affection I always feel when Miss Jane sets out on one of her cultural rescue missions. She is lonely, precise, and endlessly willing to be disappointed. Jethro is none of those things. He is simply wide open to whatever new possibility might improve his chances with the opposite sex. Between them, the violin becomes a bridge that neither can actually cross, yet both keep walking toward. The concert is over. The ambition has been born. And somewhere in the distance, Sebastian Stromboli is already beginning to regret every decision that led him to the Clampett door. Fiddle lessons and culture clash, high art meets hillbilly tunes and hog jaw songs. I have returned to these particular scenes more times than I can easily count, not because they are the loudest or the most physically comic, but because they contain one of the purest collisions the series ever staged between two complete ways of understanding the world. On one side stands Sebastian Stromboli, the great violinist, a man who has built an entire existence out of the idea that music is sacred, fragile, and above the ordinary commerce of life. On the other side stand the Clampetts, for whom music has always been something that moves the feet, fills the Saturday night, and occasionally helps a young man get a little closer to a pretty girl. Between them, the air is thick with misunderstanding, and every line of dialogue feels like a small international incident. The first meeting between Jed and the maestro is already a quiet masterpiece of mismatched courtesy. Jed extends his hand with the open friendliness he brings to every new acquaintance. "Howdy, I'm Jed Clampett." Stromboli recoils as if the hand itself might crack the varnish on his Stradivarius. No one has shaken Stromboli's hand in 20 years. The declaration is delivered with such wounded grandeur that it becomes almost touching. Hans Conried plays the moment with perfect, brittle dignity. This is a man who has decided that even the ordinary gesture of greeting is a threat to art. Jed, unfazed, simply revises his approach. "Oh, you poor man, you don't well, just set your heart at rest. You found a friend." The kindness is so complete, so unself-conscious, that it leaves the maestro with nowhere to put his outrage. Buddy Ebsen never plays Jed as simple. He plays him as a man who has never needed to protect himself from other people's strangeness. And that quality becomes in these scenes a form of quiet power. Before the lesson can even begin, Granny has already issued her requirements. She wants the first song taught to be Redneck Romance, or as she more precisely remembers it, There's a Hog Jaw Where Your Heart Ought to Be. The title alone is a complete world. I can still hear Irene Ryan saying it with the absolute conviction that this is a standard every serious musician must know. That song's responsible for more weddings than the shotgun. In Granny's cosmology, the tune is not merely music, it is a practical tool of courtship, a piece of cultural technology that has proven its worth across generations of mountain Saturdays. When Jed relays the request, Stromboli's response is pure continental horror. "I play the music of only the immortal composers." Jed considers this and offers the only translation that makes sense to him. "Well, you ought to know this one. It was wrote by Stumpy Peckinpah of the songs Stumpy Peckinpah or the Gitbox." The invented attribution is so sincere it becomes a kind of folk scholarship. Jed is not mocking the maestro. He is trying with the limited materials available to him to place the mountain song inside the only category Stromboli seems to respect. Miss Jane, sensing disaster, attempts to intervene. She has spoken with Jethro. His attitude toward music is all wrong. "We must forget about your teaching Jeffrey the violin." The plea is genuine. She has seen the boy's eyes when he talks about the girls at the stage door, and she knows the lessons are already doomed. Stromboli's answer is one of the great comic revelations of the episode. Attitude is important, yes, but not as important as the money. "I have 6 ex-wives. The line is thrown away with the weary practicality of a man who has learned that genius does not pay the alimony. In that single admission, the lofty figure of the concert artist collapses into someone almost neighborly. He is trapped by the same ordinary pressures that trap everyone else. The Clampetts, in their accidental way, have found his weakness, and the weakness is human. What follows is the listening in sequence, and it remains one of my favorite stretches of pure culture clash writing in the entire series. The family gathers outside the room where the lesson is supposedly taking place. Jethro inside has discovered the sound of tuning. He declares it a song with a catchy title. It's called Tuning Up. That is a catchy little title. What are the words when he is told there are no words? His disappointment is absolute. It'll never be a hit. You can't even whistle a melody. The logic is airtight inside Jethro's world. Music without words and without a tune you can carry home is simply incomplete. Max Baer Jr. plays the moment without a trace of self-awareness. He is not trying to be funny. He is trying to understand, and the failure to understand becomes the comedy. Granny's verdict is delivered with the authority of a woman who has judged 100 Saturday Night Fiddlers. Nobody can dance to it. I hope that ain't the best you can do. He's making it up as he goes along. She compares Stromboli's playing unfavorably to her cousin Clarence Picklestiff, who could still make better dancing music with one broken arm and a jug under the other. The catalogue of real musicians follows Sidearm Jackson, Catgut, Calloway, Benton, Sam Dingle. The great names of a world that never needed concert halls. When someone mentions Flat and Scruggs, the recognition is immediate and reverent. These are not jokes to Granny. They are the canon. The fact that the rest of the country has never heard of them only proves the rest of the country has been looking in the wrong places. I find myself pausing often on Irene Ryan in these scenes. Her outrage is volcanic, but it is never mean. She is defending a complete aesthetic system. Music is supposed to move the body. It is supposed to mark the turning of the seasons and the pairing of couples and the release of a week's hard work. Anything that does not do those things is not merely unfamiliar, it is a kind of failure. When she declares that Stromboli's playing is only good for stomping the mud off your boots, she is not being crude. She is applying the only standard she has ever needed. The fact that city people are just dippy over the man only confirms that city people have lost the thread. Jed's role in all of this is quieter, and to my ear more moving. He does not share Granny's absolute certainty, yet he never undercuts her. He stands between the two worlds like a man who has learned to live in both without feeling the need to choose. When he tells Stromboli that Granny would settle for "there's a hog jaw where your heart ought to be," there is no mockery in the suggestion. He is simply trying to make the lesson useful. Usefulness is the highest praise Jed knows how to give. The longer I sit with these scenes, the more clearly I hear what the show is actually doing. It is not simply laughing at the Hillbillies for failing to appreciate high culture, nor is it simply laughing at the maestro for his pretensions. It is staging a genuine argument about what music is for. One side believes it exists to elevate the soul above the ordinary world. The other believes it exists to make the ordinary world more bearable, more danceable, more alive with the possibility of courtship and release. Both sides are sincere. Both sides are incomplete. And the comedy arises from the total inability of either side to imagine that the other might be even partly right. Jethro, of course, remains blissfully outside the argument. He is still thinking about the size of the instrument and the number of girls it might attract. The philosophical collision taking place around him is of no interest. He has already translated the entire enterprise into the only currency he values. In that translation, there is a kind of terrible purity. The rest of them are fighting over the meaning of art. Jethro has already moved on to the practical question of how art might improve his Saturday nights. By the time the lesson collapses under the weight of its own contradictions, something larger than the plot has been settled. The Stradivarius and the Marrowbone Ring, the immortal composers and Stumpy Peckinpah, the concert stage and the barn dance floor have all been placed on the same table and found to be, if not equal, at least equally serious to the people who love them. The show does not declare a winner. It simply lets the two systems stand side by side in all their mutual incomprehension and trusts that the audience will feel the strange comic dignity of both. I leave these scenes each time with the same unsettled affection. Part of me wants to protect Stromboli from the coming storm of mountain pedagogy. Part of me wants to protect Granny's canon from the polite condescension of the concert world. And part of me simply wants to keep listening to the sound of two complete languages trying and failing to translate each other in a sunlit California living room. The failure is the point. The failure is also the joy. Tuning up and talent, Jethro's misguided practice cellos and Stromboli's despair. There is a special kind of comic agony that settles over these next scenes, and I have never been able to watch them without feeling a complicated mixture of laughter and genuine pity for every person involved. Jethro has been given a violin and a teacher of international reputation. What he does with both is so completely, so unapologetically himself that the entire enterprise of high culture seems to stagger under the weight of his sincerity. I return to this stretch of the episode the way one returns to a familiar bruise, knowing it will hurt a little, knowing the hurt is somehow necessary, and knowing that underneath the pain there is still something oddly pure. The trouble begins with the simple fact that Jethro does not see instruments the way other people see them. Size matters. The logic is childlike and airtight. If a small violin can attract girls with flowers and kisses, a larger one must attract more girls with larger flowers and more enthusiastic kisses. When he first encounters the cello, he does not recognize it as a different instrument. He simply recognizes a bigger opportunity. He lifts it, tucks it under his chin exactly as he has seen Stromboli do with the violin, and immediately spears his Adam's apple on the endpin. Every time I put it up underneath my chin to play, I speared my Adam's apple. The physical comedy is broad, yet Max Baer Jr. plays the moment with the focused concentration of a man conducting an important experiment. He is not trying to be funny, he is trying to improve his chances, and the instrument is refusing to cooperate. The bass viol receives the same treatment. Jethro eyes it with open admiration. This ain't bad. What's real work is holding up that overgrown fiddle yonder. When he is told that neither instrument is meant to be played under the chin, the information registers only as a temporary setback. The dream remains intact. Somewhere in his mind, the image of himself on a stage surrounded by admiring young women has simply grown larger to match the instrument. I have always found something strangely moving in that refusal to scale the dream down. Most people learn to adjust their longings to the size of the tools available. Jethro adjusts the tools to the size of the longing. Stromboli's reaction to all of this is a slow-motion collapse that Hans Conried plays with exquisite wounded precision. The maestro has accepted the job for the money. He has already compromised every artistic principle he claims to hold. Now, he must watch the compromise made flesh in the form of a large, cheerful young man who believes tuning up is a song with a catchy title and who keeps trying to play the cello under his chin. At one point, Stromboli is seen crying. Jethro, ever helpful, notices. First you was crying and now you're shaking. Is something upsetting you? The answer, that's my vibrato, is delivered through clenched teeth. The boy nods sagely, and suggests that Granny might be able to cure it. The suggestion is offered with such genuine concern that it becomes almost tender. Jethro has no idea he is the cause of the distress, he only knows that the teacher looks unwell. And in the Clampett world, unwell is a condition that can usually be fixed with a charm or a tonic, or if necessary a sharp blow to the right part of the body. The comparison of instruments is one of those sequences I can watch on an endless loop. Jethro produces his own violin, the one that cost $16, and carries a label reading "Made in Texas by Texans." He examines Stromboli's Stradivarius with the thoughtful air of a man comparing two mules. Signor Ramus Stradivarius. I wonder who made mine. When he finds the Texas label, he announces it with pride. Then comes the challenge. Let's see which one's got the best tone. You play your ignoramus and I'll play my simpleton. The renaming is instant and absolute. The Stradivarius becomes an ignoramus. His own fiddle becomes a simpleton. In that small act of linguistic conquest, the entire hierarchy of cultural value is overturned. Price, history, reputation, none of it matters. What matters is which one sounds better when a boy from the hills draws a bow across it. I have always loved the democratic ruthlessness of the moment. Jethro is not intimidated by the legend of Cremona. He is simply curious, and curiosity in his hands becomes a kind of leveling force. Miss Jane's quiet despair deepens with every passing minute. She had hoped the lessons would open a door. Instead, they have opened a trapdoor. She watches Jethro announce that he intends to learn the instrument by supper so he can give a concert and secure a date for the weekend. The timeline is pure Jethro, ambitious, impossible, and completely sincere. When she tries to explain that musical mastery does not work on that schedule, the words slide off him like water off a duck. He has already moved on to the practical question of repertoire and applause. The arrival of the family's preferred alternative teacher only compounds the maestro's suffering. Sam Dingle is announced with the reverence due a true master. He has played in the birthplace of the world's greatest music, Nashville. The geography alone is a declaration of war. Stromboli's entire understanding of musical civilization has just been relocated to Tennessee. And the look on Hans Conried's face is that of a man watching the map of Europe being redrawn by a cheerful idiot with a pencil. Yet even this is not the final straw. That honor belongs to Bessie the chimpanzee, who at some point begins to play the piano with her feet, as well as her hands. The maestro's cry, "This big ape trying to play the violin," was bad enough, but now a monkey playing the piano is the sound of a man reaching the absolute limit of what the human spirit can endure. When he looks for his cape so he can fly from the place, the detail is perfect. Of course he has a cape. A man who has constructed himself entirely out of artistic temperament would not travel without the means of a dramatic exit. Through it all, Jethro remains serenely convinced that he is making excellent progress. He reports that Stromboli has called his talent infinite. Whether the maestro actually said any such thing is doubtful. What matters is that Jethro heard it or needed to hear it, and has now incorporated it into the official record. The boy's confidence is not arrogance. It is simply the absence of any internal mechanism for self-doubt. He has decided he will learn the violin, and therefore he is learning it. The evidence of the ears is irrelevant. I have known people like this in ordinary life, and I have always envied them a little. Most of us are crippled by the gap between intention and result. Jethro does not acknowledge the gap, he simply keeps playing. What stays with me longest after the laughter fades is the strange dignity that clings to everyone involved. Stromboli is ridiculous in his pretensions, yet his despair is real. He has spent a lifetime protecting a certain idea of beauty, and that idea is being dismantled in front of him by a young man who means no harm whatsoever. Jethro is ridiculous in his ambition, yet his ambition is heartfelt. He is not trying to destroy high culture. He is trying to use it for the only purpose that has ever made sense to him. Miss Jane is ridiculous in her hope, yet the hope is generous. She keeps believing that the next improvement might be the one that finally takes. And Jed and Granny, standing at the edge of the frame, supply the ongoing commentary of a culture that has never needed a Stradivarius to know when music is doing its proper job. In the end, the lesson does not merely fail, it achieves a kind of negative transcendence. Everything that can go wrong has gone wrong, and the failure has the completeness of a work of art. The cello has been under the chin, the bass has been judged too heavy. The Texas fiddle has been weighed against the Italian masterpiece and found, at least in one boy's opinion, to be a worthy rival. The maestro has cried, shaken, and contemplated flight, and Jethro, untouched by any of it, is still planning the weekend concert that will change his romantic fortunes forever. I sit with these scenes longer than I should because they still feel alive in a way that more carefully balanced comedy does not. They have the messy vitality of real collision. Two complete systems of value have been placed in the same room and instructed to cooperate. They cannot. The impossibility is the joke, and the joke is also somehow the truth. Beauty means different things to different people. And sometimes the kindest thing one system can do for another is to fail spectacularly in its presence. Jethro's practice sessions are that kind of failure, loud, earnest, and weirdly cleansing. By the time they are over, everyone knows a little more about the limits of translation, and the limits themselves have become a source of rough, enduring comedy. Soap opera reality. Granny confuses journey to misery with life and rescues Rex Goodbody. There are moments in the long history of this series when the boundary between the Clampett living room and the larger world of make-believe grows so thin that it almost disappears, and this is one of the thinnest. I have always felt a special complicated affection for the stretch of episodes in which Granny encounters the soap opera journey to misery. It is not simply that the comedy is broad and expertly played. It is that the scenes touch something deep and enduring about the way certain minds meet the modern world. Granny does not watch television the way other people watch television. She enters it. She takes what she sees as seriously as she once took a mountain thunderstorm or a neighbor's fever. And once she has decided that Rex Goodbody is in real danger, nothing on earth, least of all the fourth wall, can stop her from attempting a rescue. The first signs of trouble appear quietly, the way most Clampett disasters do. Miss Jane is on the telephone speaking with the half-distracted politeness she reserves for Ellie Mae's more complicated requests. Today's the day we find out if Rex Goodbody is going to need an operation. Granny's ears, tuned by decades of listening for trouble, catch the name at once. Who's Rex Goodbody? The answer that he is a character on a daytime drama lands with no force whatsoever. In Granny's cosmology, a name is a name. If a man is sick enough to need an operation, the proper response is not to sit still and watch. The proper response is to boil water, gather the right roots, and go. I still remember the first time I watched Irene Ryan play these moments. There is no wink to the audience, no shared joke about the absurdity of the situation. Her belief is absolute. When she declares that city doctors are scalpel-happy goomers who get paid by the stitch, the line is not a gag. It is a diagnosis. She has seen enough of the modern medical world to distrust it on principle. Operations, in her view, are what you do when you have failed at the real work of healing. The fact that the patient exists only inside a glowing box in the living room does not weaken the principle. If anything, it strengthens her resolve. A man who cannot even leave the television set to seek proper help is clearly in worse shape than most. The preparations that follow are pure Granny. She wants a 4-leaf clover because she is a physician, and a physician should have some luck to wish with. She orders Ellie to boil water. She fires up the siren on her newly equipped ambulance truck, the same siren that once was supplied by the howling of the old hound dog Duke on the seat beside her. The detail is small and perfect. Even the technology of emergency has been translated into mountain terms. Where the city uses electricity and chrome, Granny once used a loyal dog who knew when to howl. The continuity between the two methods is for her unbroken. Jed watches all of this with the mild concern of a man who has seen too many of Granny's campaigns to be truly surprised. We can't have you running all over town doctoring. We need you here. The protest is gentle and doomed. Granny's reply contains the real emotional engine of the entire sequence. It breaks my heart to think how my own family is so healthy they don't even think enough of me to get the measles, or break a finger now and then. Beneath the comic exaggeration lives a genuine loneliness. She is a healer with almost no one left to heal. The soap opera has given her a patient again, and she will not let the opportunity pass. The journey to the supposed sickbed is a masterpiece of escalating misunderstanding. First, the house on Crestview Drive, where no one answers the door. Granny concludes the man is too weak to move. She announces her intention to have Jethro break the door down if necessary. Jed's attempt to impose ordinary ethics, "I hope you ain't planning to sneak in," is met with moral outrage. Of course not. What kind of a person do you think I am? I'm gonna have Jethro break down the door. The distinction is pure Granny. Breaking down a door with assistance is not sneaking. It is a house call conducted by other means. When the truth begins to surface that Rex Goodbody is an actor named Gene Lockhart, that the operation is scheduled for the next day's episode, that the entire crisis exists only inside the conventions of daytime drama, Granny simply absorbs the new information into her existing framework. The man is still in danger. The doctors are still quacks. The fact that the danger is being broadcast on a schedule only proves how coldly the modern world has organized its cruelties. She has no language for fiction. She has only the older language of suffering and response. The final assault on the television studio remains one of the great comic set pieces of the series. Granny bursts onto the set in the middle of the staged operation, ordered the scalpel dropped, and declares the entire medical staff a collection of frauds. That man don't need an operation. You're all a bunch of quacks. The actors freeze, the crew panics. Mr. Drysdale, watching from the bank with his secretaries, sees his social standing and possibly his banking relationships dissolving in real time. And through it all, Irene Ryan never once breaks the reality she has constructed. She is not playing a woman who has misunderstood a television show. She is playing a physician who has arrived at the last possible moment to prevent a needless mutilation. What moves me most even after all these years is the purity of her commitment. In a media-saturated age, it has become ordinary to joke about people who cannot tell the difference between television and life. Granny's version of that confusion is different. She is not stupid. She is simply operating with a different set of first principles. Suffering is suffering. If a man appears to be in pain, the ethical demand is the same whether the pain is real or performed. The show never quite laughs at her for this. It laughs around her, and in the laughter there is a surprising amount of respect. I think often of the quieter moments that surround the big comic explosion. Granny standing in the living room, four-leaf clover in hand, genuinely wishing a fictional character good luck. Granny listening to the soap opera doctor list the patient's many catastrophes: bankruptcy, fire, imprisoned brother, half-crazed wife, and concluding that no human being should have to endure an unnecessary operation on top of all that. The catalogue of misery is pure daytime drama excess. Yet she receives it as a factual case history. Her response is not to change the channel. Her response is to gather her tools and go. In the end, the rescue does not succeed in the way she intended. The actor is not saved from a scalpel because there was never a real scalpel to begin with. Yet something is rescued all the same. For a few hours, an old woman who has been feeling useless is useful again. She has a patient, a mission, a chance to practice the only art she has ever fully trusted. The fact that the patient exists on the other side of a glass screen is in the final accounting almost irrelevant. What matters is that she answered the call. I leave these scenes each time with the same unsettled gratitude. The comedy is ruthless and precise. The performance is a high-wire act of absolute conviction. And underneath both there is a lonely, stubborn, magnificent refusal to accept that any human pain, even the painted kind, should go unanswered. In a world that grows more fictional by the day, Granny's particular form of confusion feels less like a joke and more like a kind of rough, enduring wisdom. She does not know how to watch, she only knows how to care. And for the length of one long, ridiculous, unforgettable afternoon, caring is enough. Mountain medicine meets television, house calls, wheelbarrows, and studio interruptions. I have always felt that the true heart of Granny's great soap opera campaign reveals itself not in the initial misunderstanding but in the long, strangely tender afternoon when the fictional patient finally becomes flesh and blood on the Clampett doorstep. The earlier scenes establish the premise with perfect comic clarity: an old mountain healer has decided that a man on television needs saving. These next scenes test what happens when the two realities are forced into the same physical space. The result is one of the most delicately balanced sequences the series ever attempted, broad enough to make an audience laugh without restraint, yet grounded enough in character that the laughter never quite erases a quieter feeling of recognition. The actor arrives under the name Jean Lafayette, though Granny will not be moved from the name she knows. He is Rex Goodbody, and he is in danger. The fact that he has come because Mr. Drysdale offered him $50 to humor a wealthy client's relative does not register with her as a contradiction. Money, in her experience, is often the only language the outside world understands. What matters is that the patient is finally within reach of proper care. She greets him with the brisk authority of a woman who has delivered more babies and set more bones than most city doctors have seen in a lifetime. All right, come on in here and let me look you over. What follows is a medical examination conducted entirely on mountain principles. The muscle tone tester turns out to be whatever object is nearest to hand. The blood pressure checker is the jug of corn squeezings that has traveled with her from the hills. She explains the diagnostic method with complete seriousness. She gives the patient a shot and times how long it takes his nose to turn red. The procedure is ridiculous by any modern standard, yet Irene Ryan never once signals that she knows it. Her concentration is absolute. She is working. The actor for his part submits with the weary professionalism of a man who has already accepted that the afternoon will be strange. When she pronounces his reflexes satisfactory and his eyesight perfect, there is real satisfaction in her voice. She has missed this. The family is too healthy, the neighbors are too modern. At last she has a body that requires her attention. The wheelbarrow sequence remains for me one of the purest distillations of Clampett logic. Granny decides the patient should not be walking. Walking is exertion, and exertion is the enemy of recovery. The solution is obvious: he will be transported in the wheelbarrow. The actor's protest is mild and doomed. I am a good sport, but I don't know about this being moved around in a wheelbarrow. Granny's reassurance is perfect in its mountain fatalism. Take heart, Mr. Goodbody. Things could be a lot worse. The image of a grown man in a business suit being wheeled across the Clampett lawn by an elderly woman in a butcher's smock is pure visual comedy, yet it also carries a surprising dignity. She is taking care of him in the only way she knows. The fact that the method looks absurd to everyone else is irrelevant. Care is care. I find myself lingering on the quieter beats of the examination. Granny comments on his figure with the frankness of a woman who has never learned the city habit of polite evasion. She tests his hearing by simply speaking to him. She asks about childhood diseases whose names, pucker-dappled Phoebus, skunk fever, have never appeared in any medical textbook outside the hills. When the actor admits he has suffered from none of them, she seems almost disappointed. A clean bill of health is good news. But it is also a kind of professional starvation. She has prepared herself for a serious case. What she finds is a healthy man who only needs to be told he is healthy in the right language. The conversation about the soap opera wife is one of those moments when the comedy suddenly deepens into something more complicated. Granny asks how the wife is taking the news of the coming operation. The actor explains with careful patience that he is only married to that particular woman for 30 minutes each day. The rest of the time he is footloose and fancy-free. Granny's response is pure moral outrage. Wonder the poor woman is half crazed. She has no framework for the idea of a temporary fictional marriage. A wife is a wife. The fact that this one exists only inside a broadcasting schedule does not lessen the responsibility. When she later scolds him for neglecting his half-crazed wife and 3 young'uns in order to make passes at beautiful women, the reprimand is completely sincere. She is not playing a scene. She is correcting a moral failure the only way she knows how, out loud in plain language, with the full force of her personality behind it. The actor's private calculations during these scenes add another layer of quiet comedy. He considers briefly whether marrying the old woman might solve his mortgage problems. The thought is mercenary and immediately undercut by the physical reality of being examined, scolded, and wheeled around like a sack of feed. Whatever financial advantage might exist is clearly not worth the price. When he finally escapes, it is with the dazed expression of a man who has survived an ordeal he will never be able to explain at the studio. Yet Granny is not finished. When the operation airs anyway, when the television set once again shows Rex Goodbody being prepared for surgery, she experiences the betrayal as a personal failure. She warned him. She examined him. She told him he did not need the operation. The fact that he is proceeding anyway can only mean that the city doctors have reasserted their dangerous influence. The second rescue attempt is therefore more urgent than the first. This time she knows exactly where the crime is taking place. The television studio becomes the operating theater, and she intends to stop the procedure with the same authority she once used to stop a mountain fight. The storming of the set is pure chaos, and it is also pure Granny. She does not pause to understand the cameras or the lights, or the script supervisor frantically signaling from the shadows. She sees a man about to be cut open without need, and she acts. Hold it. Drop that scalpel. That man don't need an operation, you're all a bunch of quacks. The language is the same language she has always used. The setting has changed. The conviction has not. Actors freeze. Crew members panic. Mr. Drysdale, watching from the bank, sees years of careful social climbing dissolve in a single afternoon of live television. And through it all, Irene Ryan never breaks. She is not a woman who has wandered onto the wrong stage. She is a physician who has arrived for the second time at the place where she is most needed. What stays with me longest is the emotional continuity between the quiet examination in the Clampett living room and the public explosion in the studio. Both are expressions of the same unbroken impulse: if someone appears to be suffering, you help. The help may be a jug of corn liquor used as a blood pressure gauge. The help may be a wheelbarrow. The help may be a full-throated interruption of a network broadcast. The form does not matter. The refusal to remain passive does. I think often of how lonely Granny must have been in those California years, surrounded by a family too healthy to need her and a medical establishment too modern to respect her. The soap opera gave her a patient again. The fact that the patient was fictional was a complication she simply refused to accept. In her refusal there is something almost heroic. The modern world is full of people who understand the difference between television and life and who use that understanding as permission to care about neither. Granny does not understand the difference, and so she cares about both with the same ferocious loyalty. By the time the studio security finally removes her, something larger than the plot has been settled. Mountain medicine has met the television age and has not blinked. The confrontation is ridiculous, noisy, and destined to change nothing about the way daytime drama is made. Yet it also feels in some stubborn way like a victory. An old woman who has been told her knowledge is obsolete has once again practiced that knowledge in public on her own terms without apology. The cameras kept rolling. The audience at home saw everything. And for one long, unforgettable afternoon, the boundary between the living room and the glowing box did not merely thin. It disappeared entirely, and what rushed through the opening was pure, unfiltered, magnificent care. Critters take over. Ellie Mae's dog's Granny's fury and the battle for the mansion. There are certain ongoing wars in the Clampett household that never truly end, and the war over the critters is the longest and most affectionate of them all. I have always felt a deep, complicated tenderness for these particular scenes because they capture something essential about the way love and order collide inside a family. Ellie Mae cannot stop collecting broken and unwanted animals. Granny cannot stop needing a house that does not smell of wet fur, and cannot be crossed without stepping on something that pants. Between them, the mansion becomes a battlefield in which every truce is temporary and every victory is measured in the number of paws still visible at sundown. The sequence begins, as so many of Ellie Mae's crises do, with an act of pure practical kindness that immediately creates chaos. She is washing her animals in the cement pond because Granny has forbidden further use of the bathtub. The reason is simple and, from Granny's point of view, unassailable. The last time Ellie used the indoor tub, the combination of life soap and animal enthusiasm began to eat the cement. The outdoor pond is therefore a compromise. Though, like most compromises in this family, it satisfies no one completely. Ellie works with the patient concentration Donna Douglas always brought to these moments. She has been at it for hours. Archibald the dog holds an astonishing amount of water and shakes it off with democratic thoroughness. The other animals wait their turn with the resigned patience of creatures who have been through this before. Jed finds her there, and offers the gentle arithmetic of a man who has been counting for years. You got over 40 dogs, a scad and a half of cats, rabbits, goats, assorted critters wandering around the place. You're gonna look like the waiting room for the Ark. The line is spoken without anger. It is simply a fact, and Jed has always been good at facts. Ellie's reply is equally factual and far more dangerous. Well, don't make me give none away, Pa. In that small plea lives the entire conflict. She does not deny the numbers. She only refuses the conclusion that numbers should matter more than the individual lives attached to them. I still remember how powerfully that refusal landed when I first encountered it. Ellie Mae's love for animals is not a cute character trait. It is a moral absolute. Every discarded dog, every three-legged cat, every creature that has been told it is too much or too broken finds its way into her care, and once it has arrived, it is family. The show never asks us to decide whether she is right. It simply lets the consequences unfold in all their noisy, muddy, heartbreaking glory. The call to supper is the spark that detonates the afternoon. Granny's voice rings out with the familiar summons, and every animal on the property translates the word victuals into the only language that matters. What follows is less a stampede than a force of nature. Dogs pour toward the kitchen in a single rolling wave of fur and appetite. Granny, caught in the open, is knocked flat. Her boots disappear. Her glasses vanish. For a moment, the camera and the audience is left with the image of an elderly woman on the floor, surrounded by the very creatures she has spent years trying to banish, while the rest of the family tries to decide whether to laugh or rescue her first. Jethro's solution is pure Clampett ingenuity. He opens the storage room door and simply yells the magic word again. Victuals, dogs, come get victuals. The entire tide turns on a dime and pours into the temporary prison. The method is crude, effective, and strangely touching. He has used their greatest weakness against them, yet there is no cruelty in the act. He is only trying to restore enough order for Granny to stand up and find her glasses. When Letitia the dog eventually returns the glasses, or a reasonable approximation of them, the small gesture of animal goodwill is almost enough to break the old woman's resolve. Almost, but not quite. Granny's declaration is delivered with the full force of a lifetime of domestic authority. Mark my words. If I find one critter still around here by sundown, I'm gonna make a rug out of him. The threat is outrageous and completely sincere. She has reached the end of her considerable patience. The house is no longer a house, it is a kennel with furniture. Her own body has become a surface the animals run across without noticing. Something has to give. And yet, even in the moment of maximum fury, the softer current is still visible. When Ellie begins to name the animals one by one: Miranda, Esmeralda, Aubrey, Elmo, Letitia, Boris, Natalie, Granny's face undergoes the small reluctant shifts that Irene Ryan played with such precision. She does not melt all at once. She melts in stages, each name extracting a slightly higher price. By the time the list is finished, she has already begun to lose the war, and she knows it. The line she finally speaks is one of the most honest she has ever given. All right. I'll give them one more chance. The critters can stay. The surrender is temporary and everyone knows it. Tomorrow there will be another incident, another muddy paw print on a clean floor, another moment when she threatens to leave or to start making rugs. But for tonight the animals have won. I find myself returning to these scenes whenever I need to remember how love actually works inside a family that has more heart than space. Ellie Mae's collection is impossible. The numbers are unsustainable. The damage to the house is real. And yet the alternative, turning any of those creatures back out into a world that has already rejected them, is for her a moral impossibility. Granny's rage is equally understandable. She is an old woman who has spent her life keeping order in places where order was the only thing standing between survival and disaster. A house full of animals is not merely an inconvenience, it is a kind of defeat. Between those two absolute positions, Jed stands as the quiet translator he has always been. He never takes a final side. He simply keeps the peace long enough for the next crisis to arrive. His mild observations, they sound a little like Jethro, don't they? Contain both humor and a deep acceptance of the fact that this family will never be tidy. The animals, the appetites, the sudden stampedes toward food, it is all part of the same pattern. Trying to separate one from the other would be like trying to separate the music from the dance. What moves me most is the absence of any permanent resolution. The show never forces Ellie to give up her animals, and it never forces Granny to pretend she likes them. The conflict is allowed to remain alive, recurring, occasionally explosive, and always underwritten by a stubborn, unspoken loyalty. When Granny softens, she softens because the animals have already become part of the only world that matters to her. When she hardens again, she hardens because that world still needs a floor that can be walked on and a kitchen that does not require wading. Both needs are real. Both will still be real tomorrow. In the end, the cement pond is quiet again. The storage room is full of temporarily imprisoned dogs. Granny is once more in possession of most of her dignity and at least one of her boots. Ellie is already planning the next meal for the creatures she cannot stop loving. And somewhere in the middle of it all, the mansion continues its slow transformation into the one thing it was never designed to be, and can never quite stop becoming a home large enough for every broken thing that needs one. The battle is not over. It is only paused, and the pause itself feels, as it always does in this family, like a kind of grace. Bank chaos and free dogs. Pets at the Commerce Bank and psychedelic haircuts. There is a special flavor of panic that only the Commerce Bank ever quite achieves, and it reaches one of its purest expressions when Ellie Mae decides that the safest temporary home for her surplus dogs is Miss Jane's office. I have always loved these scenes with an almost proprietary affection because they take the ongoing domestic war over the critters and export it without warning into the one place in Beverly Hills that has tried hardest to remain immune to clampet logic. The result is chaos of a particularly refined kind, carpeted, air-conditioned, and conducted under the terrified supervision of a man who knows that any firm objection might cost him the largest deposit the bank has ever seen. The arrival itself is pure Ellie Mae. She has been driving around with Jethro looking for a place that will take the animals without locking them in cages. Boarding kennels are out of the question. The idea of confinement is for her a moral failure. When Miss Jane, in a moment of fatal politeness, suggests that the dogs might stay in the office for a while, Ellie hears only the permission and none of the irony. Within minutes, the carefully ordered world of the Commerce Bank has been rewritten in fur. Dogs of every size and state of grooming occupy chairs, corners, and the spaces beneath desks. Miss Jane's attempts to maintain professional dignity become a kind of silent physical comedy. She moves through her own office like a woman navigating a room that has suddenly developed currents. Mr. Drysdale's reaction is a masterclass in the comedy of financial fear. He cannot tell Ellie to remove the animals. The clampet millions sit in his vaults like a sleeping dragon, and any sudden movement might wake it. At the same time, he cannot allow the bank to become a public kennel. The compromise he reaches is pure Drysdale. He will endure anything short of actual bankruptcy, and he will smile while doing it. When he orders Miss Jane to get Fifi out of the office before Claude can detect a strange dog's hair on her coat, the specificity of the anxiety is perfect. Even the dogs of Beverly Hills have social hierarchies, and Mrs. Drysdale's poodle sits near the top of them. The haircut sequence remains one of the great physical set pieces of the entire critter saga. Jethro, left unsupervised with Mr. Drysdale's new electric razor and a poodle that needs trimming, simply applies the only aesthetic he knows. The result is described with wonderful understatement as the first psychedelic haircut on the block. Mrs. Drysdale's horror is absolute. The dog that returns to her is no longer the carefully shaped creature she left. It is a walking experiment in spontaneous design. Jethro's defense is delivered with the same serene confidence he once brought to the cello. He has not ruined the dog. He has improved it. The fact that no one else can see the improvement only proves that the rest of the world has not yet caught up. I still laugh at the image of Mr. Drysdale discovering that his expensive new razor has been used on a poodle, yet the laughter is complicated by a small unexpected sympathy for Jethro. In his mind, he has performed a service. The dog looked one way. He has made it look another way. The judgment of fashion is to him as arbitrary as the judgment of music critics who cannot hear the value of a good barn dance tune. He is consistent. That consistency is what makes him both impossible and, in a strange way, admirable. Elsa is drafted into the emergency as dog walker, and the assignment immediately collides with her still limited English. Miss Jane's attempt to teach her the word no, as the most important vocabulary for dealing with male employees, is interrupted by the more pressing need to keep Fifi moving until a proper appointment can be made. The resulting image, Elsa, who understands almost nothing, walking a radically redesigned poodle up and down in front of the bank, compresses an entire season's worth of culture clash into a single sidewalk tableau. Meanwhile, Mrs. Drysdale continues her own parallel campaign on behalf of Claude the poodle, whose emotional life appears to require more maintenance than most human marriages. The references to psychoanalysis, dancing lessons, and the devastating effects of a bad haircut are pure 1960s Beverly Hills satire, yet they never feel mean-spirited. The show simply places the extreme delicacy of Claude's existence next to the robust chaos of Ellie Mae's pack and lets the contrast do the work. One dog has a therapist. The others have Ellie. The question of which arrangement is more humane is left carefully unanswered. The signs Ellie paints for the eventual giveaway are a perfect coda to the bank sequence. They are too small, some of the letters are backwards. One of them is positioned so close to the street that it becomes a traffic hazard. Jed's patient attempt to improve them only underscores the larger truth: Ellie does not actually want the signs to work. She is going through the motions of finding new homes because the pressure has become unbearable, yet every brushstroke betrays her hope that no one will answer. When she later returns from the pet shop with an entirely new collection of dogs because she couldn't stand to see them in cages, the circle is complete. The problem has not been solved. It has been refreshed. What stays with me longest after the laughter settles is the quiet accuracy of the power arrangements. Mr. Drysdale, who can move millions with a signature, is rendered helpless by a soft-hearted girl and a pack of unwanted dogs. Miss Jane, who has spent years trying to impose order on the Clampetts, finds her own office transformed into the very disorder she has always fought. Mrs. Drysdale, who treats her poodle like a fragile extension of her own social standing, is forced to confront a version of that poodle that has been freely reinterpreted by a young man who has never heard of a dog show. And through it all, Ellie Mae moves with the calm certainty of a person who knows she is right even when the entire machinery of the modern world is telling her she is impossible. The bank does not collapse. The dogs are eventually removed. The electric razor is never quite the same. Yet something has been permanently altered. For a few hours, the most proper institution in Beverly Hills was forced to operate according to Clampett rules, and the rules proved surprisingly resilient. Money could not eject the dogs. Status could not protect Fifi's haircut. Expertise could not teach Elsa English fast enough to matter. The only force that finally moved the situation was the same force that started it: Ellie Mae's unyielding determination that no living creature should be left without a place to belong. I leave these scenes with the same slightly dazed admiration I always feel when the Clampetts invade a space that believes itself prepared for them. The preparation is never enough. The dogs arrive, the razor comes out. The signs are painted backwards. And for a little while the ordered world is forced to remember that order is only one possible way of living and not always the most generous.